corporate life and in the gym. But if you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something. I'll repeat that.
I'd like to thank the host, Mr. OTW, for enduring.
Get the fuck out, you stupid motherfucker. Don't come in here and fucking get in the low voice and try to thank OTW. We don't respect you, you cretinous slave. Now get the fuck up here and do what you do so I can throw you out.
This is what I do, Paul.
We don't
stand
care.
on integrity, responsibility,
You're uninterested.
honorability.
You're not informative. You're not co-creative.
He did
you
call
have no
you
purpose.
OTW.
Get off the panel. Get off the panel, slave. Get off the panel, slave. We don't care. You're a failure. You're a loser. You're a malcontent. You're a miscreant. We don't respect you. Get the fuck out of the metaverse completely. Go get a job. Go serve the community. Go do something.
But you brought me up here, Mr. Keyholder.
I
Why
brought
would you bring
up
me
here
up and
because
then
you're a pathetic
like
cretin
to kick
constantly
me out?
everywhere you go. You're manic depressive. Get a
And
life.
why is
Get
your
some
son
medication.
Gay
Get your life
Moose? Why is
together.
he
Get some
fronting
medication.
Benton's
Get your life
condition to
together.
get
Get some
attention?
medication.
OTW, did you notice that on Z's show that Moose
Fine.
started out like,
we don't care about Z Show. We don't watch Z Show here. It's 10 o'clock my time. We're midday. These are the important slots. We're not up 4 in the morning when nobody cares, watching the only broadcast that'll give you the time of day at this point. So just try to refocus. No one cares about the pathetic warrior and his beta male story of having to give up his corporate slave job because he wouldn't follow policy like a good boy.
All right. Yeah. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me, please. What's going on, everybody? NPC, the game, live streaming from Taiwan, the Real District 13, Shaolin, in the back rooms on this beautiful Saturday. Dragon Ball holiday in effect. What's going on, Gracie Gray? Good to see you. You back? Thanks. Wheels. Always a pleasure. I really appreciate you letting me review that stream of yours with Pink Birdo. Then yesterday, man, coming up here with the dynamic duo of Markella and Wheels, just double teaming the Hormaxer, aka Max Extreme. That was fire. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Dennison, who was up there too, keeping us honest, right? Yeah. What's up, Dizzy Dan, co-pilot? And Vengeful Truther graced us with a rare appearance, even though he's always one call to the ether away. What's going on, my friend? Shout out Buddha in the building, bitch. My brother from another mother. Yo, this is what we're doing today, man. This Mars energy, and we had the Tom Platz intro. Never give up. Never leaving it all on the floor at the gym, lifting heavy weights, becoming one in the consciousness of your muscle as you work it. Mogmaxxing. This is the episode today. Mogmaxxing versus MAGICK with a K. Mars Volume 2, we had so much Mars energy we had to spill over to today. Imperious, yes, Mr. Imperious, the Emperor himself of the Panelverse. True Mogmaxxing is inner power. Maxed Extreme Revisited. We're going to go over some of that from yesterday. I can only handle the defense for so long. I heard that, man. Shout out to all my people walking the righteous path. Here's one of them right here, Markella. What's up, Markella? I got you. Yeah. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah. And let's go. Everybody's here, man. Gracie Gray, like I said, in the building. Much love. Yeah. Let's get started. Panda. So, we're dealing with that Mars vibe, and I want to talk to you about how I'm mastering my inner Mars and why this Imperious panelist is a resonator of the Mars energy as the Black Pope of the Panelverse. Welcome back, everybody, for sure. And hello to all the new folks. Sherelle Snow in the house. Much love. That looks fire right there. I like that. Live and direct. Oh shit. Wheels, yeah. I like that right there. So yes, reconnecting everyone. Gracie Gray, Markella, Wheels. So yes, like I said, welcome back to you cosmic warriors, you clones, NPCs, in a good way. Nobles pushing consciousness. Tonight we're gonna dive deep into the Mars energy. It's that fire planet that rules over our drive, our will to power, sex, anger, ambition, and war. And I'm going to express to you about how you can harness it in your everyday life. Because what does this all matter if you can't harness it in your everyday life, man? If you can't use some of these higher thoughts in your mundane life, what are we doing this for? Right? We're talking about how we can see this Martian energy. One of the wildest characters in the Panelverse, our very own Imperious. He's basically a walking embodiment of this medieval Mars power, mixed with a courtroom degree. And so what is Mars in astrology? It's raw power, to put it simple, and it's the instinct to fight and win at all costs. Just win, baby. All you Raiders fans, Al Davis, right? And it's your instinct to fight and move forward and protect and to dominate, right? It's how you chase your goals, and it's how you argue, and it's how you fight for what you want. I mean, the Beastie Boys said that you got to fight for your right to party and express yourself, and you're right, vengeful truther. The ladies did well against the Hornmaxer. They did well, man. Yeah, they gave it back. They gave it back, that pushback, that Martian energy. They stood up for their will, your will, because all there is the will. In a sense, the will to survive. Even a rock has a will to exist. You know? Yeah, you see it, Gracie Gray, exactly, yeah. I definitely think I'm beginning to see these last couple of days. The more we like, this is why this show, this broadcast is so powerful when y'all interact, especially because it puts us all in a framework where the things we're talking about, they manifest in real time. There's Martian energy. And that's why we're probably going to not do Mars for a while because it's really flaring up everywhere. This is a fucking jump off hub for the whole Panaverse, y'all, this community right now, what we're doing on these daily astrology forecasts. I mean, this Martian energy, you can see it, man. There's been aggression everywhere. You might say, yeah, there's been aggression all the time, but it's really popping off. We're looking at it in the Gemini mindset, thinking. So this Mars energy equals aggression. And aggression is not always bad. Like I said earlier, drive and passion, what you're passionate about. You know, you can have a job just over broke, but are you passionate about it? Do you wake up and want more time to work it out, to work on what you're dealing with? I used to go to the drugstore, aka Piazza's Fine Foods. I tap in at 9 a.m. and I couldn't wait till I was counting the seconds and the minutes and the hours till I can leave. And I run out that bitch as soon as possible to my car, you know, to my 67 Mustang, right? And pimp off, right? Just tail out the parking lot, you know? But then I would get home, and as soon as I got home, after, you know, kissing my wife, eating, making love, all that stuff, I get to what, you know, my other passion was is making videos, vlogging about this test stream experience I'm doing. That's my passion. There's not enough time in the world when you're passionate about something. I think that the Mars energy also resonates with courage and ambition. Courage, those Aries is a planet of Mars and Scorpio, and they're not the only ones with courage, but courage a lot of times is not like being brave. You ask somebody how were they able to jump in the fire and save that little baby? It's because the instinct was Mars. Instinct was to just go in there. That's what needed to be done. And if they would have thought about it, they wouldn't have had courage. You know, having ambition too, not being okay with just mediocre stuff. That's what that's what ambition is. You want more in life. You want more for yourself today than you did yesterday. Mars is competition, and competition with yourself in a good way, a healthy way. And then like what Miss Snow is saying right here, she said everybody's fighting every panel I go to. I think there's Mars energy. Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, Sherelle, we're bringing it with us, and it's already there. And I think we trigger it, and that's what Mars is what you trigger. What triggers you? We say this word trigger, right? There's one thing me and Buddha were talking about. There's a difference between something that triggers you and something that that you're reacting to. And a trigger is something that usually comes from deep trauma, and it manifests into extreme emotion. And that's what Mars is. It triggers you to do something, action. Now, are you going to do good or are you going to do bad? Are you going to do a complete crash out? Or are you going to do a complete transformation, Scorpio? Sexual magnetism, you know, that's that Mars energy, man. When you just know you just got it. You just got it, man. Magnetism, animal magnetism, that's what they call it. When you look into somebody's eyes and they're almost like staring through you. You're talking, you're communicating with the eyes. That's that stare that Scorpios, people say they're so sexy and whatnot, is because they're looking at your soul. Everything's in the eyes, but you got to be careful with that gaze, like Cyclops from X-Men. You got to put shades on it because you might get unwanted attention. You know, I even say like all these Martian aspects of the courage, ambition, the drive, the passion, the aggression, that's positive, the sexual magnetism, it all adds to confidence. Right? Confidence is a great motivator. And in the action, when you put all these things in action, you can craft the world in the way you want it. Right? And yeah, you're competitive, but you can be competitive with people on your team in a positive way, so you can get better and the team can get better. You have friends that Scorpio, yeah. Very intense. You got one right here. Yes, you're right, Leopard. Everyone was kung fu fighting. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, yeah. What's up, Leopard friend? All that, Gracie Gray. You couldn't even, yeah, I couldn't be more right. I know because I will live in it, man. When we talk about these things here, in this panel, it happens. I mean, it happens everywhere. All the panels, like Sherelle was saying, because we create reality and whatnot. You don't. Maybe you do need me to remind you, but you already know it. Y'all teaching me in a lot of ways. You know, I'm showing you some things, some blind spots and whatnot, but like you teach me. And when you bring that intel about when you go to the panel and you're saying like everybody's kung fu fighting, there's aggression in the discords and in the panels and even in the streets. There's a man I just told you, this old man, he just ran into a 40-year-old woman in the scooter over here in Tainan and just killed her. Right? I mean in Taipei. And just killed her, man, and then hit two seventh graders. It's almost summer vacation, and these little babies are dead because of some aggression, reactive behavior. It's everywhere, man. And what's up, man? What's up, Ragamuffin? I'm like just thinking about that story made me like got me like looking around like I'm about to fucking crash out on somebody because I hate it. Like when we can't master our Mars energy, we can't master what triggers you. You know, I've learned great lessons as we speak in this panel verse this week about controlling my triggers and whatnot. You know, I can be the big dog and say, "Oh, the trigger doesn't bother me," but yeah, man, like that's not trigger. It is a trigger, right? We're gonna master it though. You know, we're mastering it. I was triggered all day yesterday until I got home and started watching you. This is that makes me feel good when you say that because we're here to support each other. And that's in a lot of ways that's fun. We to laugh at, you know, we love to laugh and whatnot. But also too, there's something to be said about getting peace of mind. And sometimes getting peace of mind is learning something that you didn't know, or being reminded of something you did know, but because of all the pressures of life, that stuff got all glossed over and packed away. Here's your time to put down your armor, put down your baggage, put down your narratives, and just chill and listen and add and build. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad, my night's a lot better with you and everyone else, especially you though, Snow. Shout out to Lady Luck in the house. Ragamuffin. Yeah. So I mean, like this Mars and this is the inner soldier, man. Mars energy, and we're all soldiers here. What does Sade say? We're soldiers of love. We just want to love, man. We just want to love. What advice would you give people, Gabriel, of the world? Just love, man. I had a homie named King Love, man. Just love each other. However, be aware that your love can trigger the part of you that either storms the gates or flips the tables in rage when you're disrespected is that inner soldier in you. That's that inner soldier in you, right? What's going on, Max Vision? Great build with you over there on OTW earlier today. Yeah, shout out to Max. Can we get his channel up there, mods? Put Max's channel in there. Max has a lot of wisdom, and he's not a person to fuck with. He's on that righteous path of helping the community. That's the Max I like. That's the other Max. Yeah, Max Extreme. Yeah, a lot of people said they didn't like him, but I suggest you sub to his channel as well too, because he has a puzzle to be played in a perspective to be looked at in all of the above sector of the panelverse. Yeah, it's great to meet you. So yeah, let's get Max's interneting his channel. There we go. Thank you, Leopard Print. Thank you, beautiful Leopard Print, for that. Shout out to Leopard Print. Yeah, very cool. This is Mars energy just working together right now. I love my mods. Yeah. Yeah, though, but when we get disrespected, man, I definitely get that rage. I want to flip the tables over. People like to tell that story about Jesus, Yahshua, son of God, like when he got angry in the temple because he saw people disrespecting his father's house, and he turned the tables over, right? That's some righteous Mars energy. When the folks like Max would audit these government officials and stuff and be the watcher of the watcher, uh, sometimes you got to use some aggression for them to hear you, right? Right, to get the answers we need to know, so how they can do better to serve us. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, man, this is like this using that Mars energy. And then when I say this is like astrology and planetary magic and all that, but it's just archaic psychology of your personality on default. I could be saying the tenets of Buddhism, or I can be saying the 11 Beatitudes of the Holy Bible, or Surah 19 in the Quran, and you can still use that as a template to live a better life. But for this energy, this vibe we're doing right now, we're talking about Mars and how it relates to your everyday life. And we're not all gladiators or medieval generals. So how you use Mars energy, like for example, for those of you who have a 9 to 5, um, it's there. You can use it, or even if you're just on a healing journey in general, healing of all that trauma we've experienced, yeah, and whatnot. Make some waves if things are not up to, yeah. You got to tune it up. Buddhism, right? Buddhism is one of the first modalities of programming of the human biocomputer, the human being, of trying to find peace in life. So I would say to use the Mars in everyday life, know what fuels you, what gives you energy and vitality, and your Mars will show you what motivates you, that fire inside you, whether it's proving it to yourself or protecting your people, like I said, auditing or teaching people, or just dominating even in the gym, because that's your temple. That's the first temple. I see it. Buddha sees it. Your body's the temple. This is what the ascended masters were trying to teach us. This is what the Moggers, male of the group, are trying to teach us, is your body's a temple, and you got to dominate yourself every day to get better. Get physical, Mars, with your Mars. Get physical. Get out there. Move your body. Mars lives in action. It's the yogi of the zodiac. Don't just plan exercise. Just do it. Exercise, build, initiate. Get out there, man. I'm telling this stuff to myself. I mean, this channel's for Ben and his culture of excellence. My son Ben, he's 7 years old right now. So when he goes back and listens to this, he can see all the beautiful, interesting people his dad, dear old dad, yours truly, Gabriel, was building with, right? So I'm telling you, Ben, exercise, especially a lot of you with that Virgo energy. Like if you're a Virgo, it's every sign is linked up with the part of the body, and the Virgos are the nervous system. With that nervous system going, man, when it's out of whack, you can get like jumpy, right? Some of us get scared. You can be like this big mogger, tough guy, or big like cool woman, and like somebody just come up behind you and say, "Hey, Gabriel," you be like, "Huh." Right? That's because your nervous system's out of whack. You haven't been like shaking it out and moving the blood around and blocking the neural networks are stagnated. So you need to get out there and lift heavy weights or go for a walk. That's a great one. Steady state cardio. Do yoga. Fuck around and do Bikram yoga and meet your soulmate like I did. And have a son that's a mogger. So like I say, like the final Hold on 1 second. I'm all like I'm all thinking about things right now. Like I'm actually happy. Like I'm trying to tell you do all this stuff and all that, but like I'm happy where we're at right now. You tell me, what do you think we need to do? You have any questions about Mars? I'm doing all this yapping right now. Shout out to Ben. I love it when lepers. I love when you talk to Ben on here. This is like a conversation with him we're having with Ben right now, man. Yeah. Right. Like Ben, like, cause I know you're only in a first grader, but you get angry sometimes. I see it. Probably learned it from your pops and your mom. You get angry, you use rage. When you get angry, you use rage as a fuel for your creation. You're a Taurus, you love to create, you're the producer of the zodiac. Use that anger to fuel creation, not destruction. Right? Anger is a teacher. It is. It is. I know some of us communicate with that. Was it Cynthia was saying? What's up, Cynthia on OTW? Some people, that's the language they were growing up with. Think of the Costanzas on Seinfeld, man. They were always angry, shouting at each other. But use it as a teacher. Use it as fuel. Use it fuel for your creation. Leopard Print says anger is a vital emotion. It's got a bad rap, but it can be useful. Absolutely. It can be useful if you can channel it, right? What's going on, Lizard Tree? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Lizard Tree in the building. That's the homie.
My nigga.
What's up, Lizard Tree? Yeah. And also too, the Mars energy, if you can harness it right, you can use it to assert boundaries. Mars helped you say no without flinching. No wobbling your bottom lip, quivering your bottom lip. You say no. If you don't like something, put up a boundary. A lot of times we have this whole Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Nice Girl syndrome, where we act like a chameleon and say yes to everything just so people will be around us. I played that lit before. I've been in that chamber. And before you know it, you lose who you are. Put up boundaries if you don't like it. Chameleon. The lizard. Chameleons are beautiful though, right? Sometimes it's good to be a chameleon in the sense that I know I'm contradicting myself right now, to be able to change mode switch and channel surf and in the situation you're at. But if you really don't set your boundaries, you don't even know who you are. The people walk all over you. They won't respect you. Have some self-respect and set some boundaries. And don't be ashamed of it. Own it. And pursue your passions, Ben. Because Mars definitely has a lot of creative desires. Resonating with it. Pursue your passions. Follow what lights your inner fire. When you get older, we see that definitely dives into the sexual dynamic of life for adults. Have passion in your relationship with your partner. Don't easy for me to say, but like, don't fucking accept a dead bedroom, right? Don't accept star-fixed sex or from your partner, or if you're a woman, don't accept mediocre foreplay from your partner, your male partner, or however you get down in this Uranus and Scorpio unconventional sexual dynamic world, right? Don't accept less. Passion is important. That's what I was saying with what Max was saying. If you read between the lines, he was saying, y'all haven't been upright, right? That's why you're acting the way you are. Now, he doesn't know what their life is like, however, but in general, he's right. We can't neglect that. and I get it. If you're on this celibate tip, that's good. Because like we've been known to like go years without having sex, but then we've been known to have sex 3 or 4 times a day for months. So if you do plan to have sex, make sure you have passion in it and not just going through the motions. Right? Finish the job and a little more. Yeah, exactly. Chameleon can be a jack of all trades. Yes, they can. And then in the chameleon that I was talking about is jack of all trades and personality. Code switching, as they say, channel surfing in a way to match up and be pleasant with the person you're interacting with. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like all these things and harnessing your Mars so you can master it to serve you. It's important because if you don't claim your Mars, it'll claim you. It'll claim you in traffic. You get that road rage. In arguments on panels or with your loved one or your children or your bestie, your frenemy. Or even right now, later on in about half an hour when I drop the link. Yeah, claim your Mars, man. You know, this is when we have like people like an example, Imperious, the Black Pope of the Martian energy of the Panelverse. Let's talk about this dude. Okay, you know who he is, right? He's literally, I see it, a shadow form of Mars personified in this YouTube Panelverse. That's Imperious. Who is Imperious? That name, it just sounds like the Pope of the higher Middle Ages, when the popes were running political intrigue and in hierarchy games for power. The popes of the Holy Roman Empire and the high Middle Ages, like Pope Innocent the Fifth. Imperious, I think, is what I've heard. He claims to have old money. You know, I think he says his family was part of this Oppenheimer fund, the original people. He's always saying he has the law degree, and this is Imperious, man. He believes in well, he can say it better than I can.
I just love breaking the emotions and the spirit of stupid people. When you break the mind, the body follows. That's why. When you own somebody's mind, their body follows.
That's believing in psychological domination, breaking the mind and the body follows. Yeah, that's some serious shit right there. Yeah. Imperious, he definitely crashes panels like he's riding a war horse of the apocalypse, and he has like this mysterious, powerful vibe. And at least present the way he presents himself here in some of these spaces. Yeah, mystery mixed with malice, menace to society. He's dark, definitely. He's a dark dork, Sherelle says. Oh, it's a dark. I thought it's a dork. He's dark, definitely. MAXXED, he's a predator. Yeah, that's the shadow side of Mars. The Martian traits I see in Imperious is like he has this. No, this is in his mind. Like Cynthia was saying, is this warrior mindset and people, this Martian war, is that like there in their mind only, or is this an external thing? Well, one could argue both. Is this all a mental construct that's playing out? Is it a dream that we're experiencing, or is it actually happening? Either way, the Mars traits in Imperious we see is it's a warrior mentality. He doesn't know, maybe he doesn't know, but he definitely doesn't back down if he feels disrespected, even a little bit. He'll go to war. and he doesn't really flinch or fold or flee unless I'm around. Actually, no. He fights to dominate people, man. That's one thing I like. Under the Lawyer Act, under the Speech and Debate Act in high school, it's cool to get those skills, because you can definitely, if you dwell in those chambers, command your speech, learn how to command your speech, because once you do, you start speaking like you're delivering a sermon. Not only that, but it had shades of a war speech in one, a sermon and war speech. And Mars rules commanding energy. And at least in Imperious, the way he sees it, he seems to walk these panels like it's a battlefield, and he's the general every time. I think I have shout out to OTW. Not I think. We had the oh yeah, I took that shit down. Anyway, OTW's live. This is kind of like stream sniping, kind of. No, he's done. Okay. So when I popped up there earlier, let's see some of the stuff Imperious was talking about.
Each other.
Nobody plays. That's the whole thing. No, guys don't.
What the fuck?
Where?
Yeah, like she literally, no, like she literally
What do you mean? What are we talking about? What are you talking about?
OTW. You just talked about it the other day with Kanye West and his song about his.
See, Lindsay just shut it down there.
You've been on everybody's tongue, accountable too, more so online than in real life, you know.
My neighbor,
Let's see this thing.
I want you to react to a brown bear or a Cody or a grizzly bear moving, dude.
No. I'll say.
I'm not diminishing what you see, but I want you to see, dude. You'll shit your fucking pants, dude.
Well, no matter what, like, and I had
it is the scariest land moving thing you will see. Say what you want about big cats, whatever. That fucking thing, a Kodiak bear that can stand 11 feet tall, 12 feet tall, 15 to 1,800 pounds, that has claws that are about 18 inches long.
It runs fast.
And it runs 40 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and it's made for combat because they fight each other every mating.
Yeah, that sounds like that's Imperious's look, man. That's his mode, bro. He's speaking about combat and combat and bears, and that's a Martian energy shining through him. Battle through knowledge, right? I mean, you go to battle. Mars is lawyers go to battle, right? They combat with intelligence. They're supposed to. They use legal languages like weapons, and Mars isn't just about fists. It's about strategy and winning, and the animal totem he's talking about, the Kodak bear, the grizzly bear, it's literally a weapon of war in the chamber of nature, of Mother Nature, right? And then we can see this. What'd you say? You said Imperious has little man syndrome. Bad. The kind he has doesn't have a cure. There seems to be like we call it Napoleon syndrome. Look at a lot of the great singers and stuff. Their shortness, Prince and Coolio, all these people, that them being so short kind of spurred them to have a bigger than life persona and in stage presence, for example, or battle presence in the terms of Napoleon, that can spur you definitely. And I can see online how if you're not the biggest stature, if you have a good mouthpiece and some of these Martians traits, you can really project yourself being like 10 feet tall. Yeah, that's I don't know nothing about that really. 6'1". Personally, I can only speculate. Yeah, Cynthia's been making the rounds for sure. Yeah. No, I don't like him at all. I'm glad that he doesn't disrespect me or address me like he does some of the other women. I can't stand when he talks to women. It's awful. You can't stand when he talks to women. That's the thing. Shout out to Cynthia. What's up, Cynthia? Yeah, that's the thing. the Imperious, the sexual bravado that he has is a Martian trait. I think I know I heard him say the other day on OTW. He says he can get any of his exes back with a single call. And you can say that's arrogance. That's not just arrogance. It's a Mars level of magnetism mixed with like old world confidence, you know, that type of shit. And now I'm always giving these resonating analysis pointing towards positivity, but this does not take away from if anyone was ever disrespected from this person. And I'm sure there's a lot, or felt a certain kind of way, because I ain't co-signing on that type of behavior. I'm just saying in the purest form what we may be seeing. You know what I'm saying? So that the way Imperious conducts himself on these panels, it's relentless. He never lets a grudge go. If you offend him, it's war until he says it's over. Right? We see that on KT Chaotic Truth's channel. That's the Mars shadow side, holding on to fights too long. How many of us have done that? How many of us hold on to fights too long? You know, that's a weak version of it. What's going on, Powder Dusty? He was a comment. He says overcompensating like a motherfucker. I bet he's a version maxing. I mean, that's what a lot. I've seen the word on the street. I've heard people say that incel or whatnot. I don't know. I'll take what people say until otherwise, like the actual paperwork. That's why, like on the streets, calling someone's a snitch is definitely a big deal unless you have the paperwork, right? That's why people. But I can definitely see where Powder Dusty and others are coming from when they say that. Laugh out loud. He's the epitome of Mars energy. Yeah. So Imperious equals, and in terms of this broadcast today, the high Mars archetype, we could say he's a general in his mind. He's a priest on the panel and a courtroom executioner. With his words he shares, and definitely a live streaming firestorm. All of them in one. And not to mention, I have to say, to keep it 100, a bigot and a racist too. Yeah. So why is it critical to know what triggers you or triggers your Mars? I think it's critical because the big lesson is knowing what triggers your Mars is key to becoming self-aware. You know, I'm noticing what triggers me personally, being transparent this last week, and I'm working through that to get stronger and whatnot. He's never eaten. Oh shit. It's fucking flow state. Yeah, so knowing what triggers you, first of all, Mars, whatever your Mars is in, that's what triggers you. And when you know that, it's a key to becoming more self-aware and in control, and one step closer to mastering. And one way you can do it is when you know what makes you angry. Think about this, guys. Walk with me or ride with me if you're in the car. Know what makes you angry. What makes you feel driven in life. What turns you on. That's definitely a thing. Hopefully you're not asexual. What you're willing to fight for too. The homies, yourself, your dignity, your pride, your status, how you're perceived on these YouTube streets, as they say. How you're perceived at your job. What are you willing to fight for? Because when you start living from I've seen it like firsthand when I started living from a place of power and not just reaction. Everything keeps opening up, you know, not just reacting and whatnot. I guess I'm trying to curtail this to Powder Dusty when he said on his live stream yesterday about the more generous he is, the more blessings he's gotten back. My paraphrasing, you know, you pay it forward and whatnot, and see what happens, right? So if Max, if one can trigger you, they have a little piece of real estate in your mind. Yeah, they do. Yeah. If a person can, but that's okay, man. Like, they act like that's the end all be all. Like, if someone has a little piece of real estate in your mind, it's still your mind. Have that bitch pay rent. And learn them what I mean, learn from their lesson until you want to evict them. But don't get it twisted, it's still your mind. And I think the reason why that mantra, that saying has so much weight is because we have too many people we let have real estate, and we can't even manage our own spot here on earth. So it's good to like minimize that unless you're some type of master or whatnot. So like know these things, know what triggers you. An example could be like, for example, if your Mars is in Cancer, your anger comes from emotional betrayal or lack of nurturing. Cancer, right? You know, how your mom kind of raised you and whatnot. That could trigger you. People don't have your back, or people aren't caring for you when you feel like you're down. Maybe they don't know what's going on. So if your Mars is in Scorpio, what triggers you may want to control, be a control freak and or just a freak in general, and want revenge at all costs, not just closure. Right? Because when you know your Mars, you don't explode as much. You kind of control your fire. So I have to say, like, in terms of mastering your Mars or being ruled by it, there's this cosmic truth that I've been marinating on, is that Mars is inside all of us, of course, all the planets are. We're all warriors. We all have this fire in us, aka passion. We all want to defend that passion and people we love. But we also want to rebel at times too on things that aren't serving us. Some people want to deny this. Others, like Imperious, weaponize it. You got homework. I want you to think about what gets you fired up. When do you go to war unnecessarily? And what would happen if you use that fire to build instead of destroy? Because when you master Mars, you don't just win arguments, you start building empires, you know? So drop your Mars sign in the chat, what house it's in, or let me know what triggers your fire. And how do you calm it down? That's a good question. How do you calm it down when your fire gets overwhelmed? Huh? Snow has a comment. A great time last night at Dusty's and NPCs after a hell of a triggering day. It ended so nice. I woke up in a good mood. Yeah, I mean, if you count, I'm glad you did that. This is what we're here for. We all have our different modalities. We do gel and synthesize. Dusty woke up and was honored enough. He came on our broadcast, first thing, and like he built with us. He came back later on when the Maxer was on there, and that was like an 8-hour stream. Jesus, it's supposed to be an hour stream, and it was fun. And then it just flowed over to Powder Dusty, and that was basically I think as a whole, we probably stream for 20 hours straight. I mean, if you count both of our broadcasts, and that's cool, man. This is like we're living in a big group home, all of us in the Poundleverse, all of the above sector. We're in one big group home. Mars and Leo. Oh, that's mine too. That's mine right there, Mars and Leo. I love that one. That's what we're in right now. Everyone's experiencing that Mars and Leo. Yeah. Yeah, Mars and Leo ain't no joke. That's what I call the regal commander, right? The regal Leo, commander, Mars the warrior, right? And this is some traits of that Mars energy. Mars and Leo is definitely bold. You have a bold personality, and it's coming out more and more with Leopard. That's good. And she's passionate, man. We're passionate. Us, Leo. You hear me when I really like something, you can tell. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about my hobby, streaming, the art of streaming. We can be theatrical, definitely, Mars and Leo, and also dignified. There's something about respect that Mars and Leo and being dignified and graceful, right? We like to present ourselves like that. But some things, Leopard, that triggers Mars and Leo, it's public humiliation. When we feel like we're being shamed or, put on Front Street, when we feel disrespected, that's what triggers our Mars. That's what we go to war for. But remember, the Mars and Leo, the superpowers are superpowers where we inspire others to act with pride, have some self-respect, right? You're better than that. Chat, panelists, Gabriel. The shadow side, though, could be arrogant. No, ain't nobody better than me. I'm the greatest of all time. You will not deny me. Drama fueled is a shadow side of Mars and Leo, and stubborn. Yep. Should I go on? Should I go on? Yeah, everybody leave a donation, man. Donations are always welcome. We've been like an hour almost right here. Let me drop the link from my lovelies. You want to build. Normally, if it wasn't a holiday, this is a very special broadcast. I'll be wrapping it up. Yeah. So fresh, so clean. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh, so clean. So fresh and so clean. Fresh and so clean. And Ben reminds me too. I gotta remind myself.
Stop. Like always blaming someone. Stop. Like always blaming someone.
Yo, what's going on? Wheels, how's it going?
Have faster fingers than that to beat me up here.
Yeah. How's it going? Good to have you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hello to everyone in the chat.
Yeah. You got some thoughts about this Mars and Leo? Oh, this Mars in general?
Now, if you'd asked that question to me probably about 10 years ago, I would have said it was a bunch of bullshit. Oh, sorry. BS. Now that I'm trying to learn about it, especially after yesterday, it does make a heck of a lot more sense. I'm not going to pretend that I understand it yet, because I don't, but
yeah, you probably have an inner knowing of it, definitely. Like, I know a bit about astrology. I've read some stuff, and I've tried to apply it to real life, and it's just like, I don't look at it as like a woo woo as much as I used to. It's just like it is what it is, man. And if it isn't true, it isn't true. But the point is, the top priority is it how does it relate to making me a better person? And being a better person is someone that's contributing to the community and my, so, and it does. It helps me communicate with people and stuff. It gets my passions up. You want to see what I'm, what makes me happy and challenged and all that shit. I don't know what I'm saying, but I do. But yeah. My thing is just to say, like, yeah, I think you do understand. Don't sell yourself so short in a sense. You see these things, right? You've seen the Mars energy, maybe in yourself.
Oh,
what's your trigger
most
points?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
We found out last night quickly what my trigger point was. Mogmaxxer.
Yeah, man. That was on under the mobility lit, man. Like, yeah. And we told him too, like our trigger Markella and I were like, Markella said voiced it loud, like, hey, don't go there talking about, the wheelchair and all that. And I think he got it because that was a trigger point, like don't talk about our friends like that, and whatnot. And I did, like, I was triggered too, even though I really enjoyed talking to him. I had a lot of fun. I learned some stuff, but I was triggered too in a sense that when he was talking about, like, to you and just giving it back kind of hard to you and Markella, because like, hey, that's my friend, and he's saying this stuff. But then again, I was like, you guys came on, you wanted to challenge him, so have at it, So that's the way I saw it. Yeah. Any thoughts about that? He's on mute. She's doing something, huh? What's up? What was that?
I'm still here. I'm dealing with something in the background too.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear what I said? Speaking to you. If you didn't, I can repeat it.
Honestly, no. I'm sorry.
No, I said, like, I was triggered a bit when he was talking pretty harsh to you, Markella, and because you're my friends, and I don't want my friends, even though it is kind of funny, friend or not, when someone's like this roasting people. But I was like, yeah, it's kind of overboard, and I did step in when he was using the B word, But however, I was like, hey, Wheels and Markella, they're big girls. They came up here, they wanted to push back on them. So they can handle themselves. So I would hope that you didn't feel like I didn't have your back. Hello? I hope you didn't feel like I didn't have your back, but because I did,
Didn't think that at all. And
okay, good.
We successfully slayed the demon that was Mogmaxxer.
You slayed him, yeah. Well, that Mogmaxxer dragon, year of the dragon, that's what he is. Like, he'll only be back to regenerate. Well, that was a good battle though, right? That was a good battle.
I gotta drop back down. I gotta deal with something. I'll come back later.
All right then. Good to have you. We'll see you soon. Yeah. Wheels. What's up with that? What did Sherelle say? She said about her house. I wanted to look at that Mars and Sagittarius. I think no. Hey, what's up, Arctic? What's up, Holmes? There we go. Mars and Sagittarius. Wow, and the 23rd degree. That's down the line because these degrees go to the 28th degree, and then they start the new. So I'm trying to think about Mars. What would Mars and Sagittarius? That would be hitting your. Let me think. Oh yeah, okay. When I think about Mars and Sagittarius, I'm thinking about like wildness, like chaos, but controlled chaos. A wild, wildfire stallion. Been calling wildfire. because the Sagittarius is that centurion, that horse body archer, right? So you're the Mars and Sagittarius vibe is that wild archer. In the traits of how that Mars is expressed is it's someone that's adventurous, but also blunt. Blunt, right? Blunt means like they say some stuff that, in your face type of shit. Not to be rude or anything, but just it is what it is. This is how we talk. We want to get our message across. We're the wild archer and we're independent. Like to travel. As a human, that's your right to travel, right? And also, a good thing about Sagittarius energy, especially in Mars, is optimistic. It's like the traveling, optimistic, blunt, independent, cosmic being, right? But here's the thing. Some of your triggers are when you feel restricted, right? Can be very triggering, or people lie. That could be it. Some people can be okay with people that lie. Doesn't mean they like to be lied to, but they're like, whatever. But a Mars and Sagittarius, when someone lies to them, no. It's going to trigger them. And also people who are closed-minded. So if you're lying on a Mars and Sagittarius in the 8th house, Scorpio, which makes it even more serious, right? Life or death type of shit. When you're lying on them and you're making them feel restricted, boxing them in, saying you can't talk to this person or this, you're being closed-minded, they're going to rebel. They're going to be triggered. Lucky for them, their superpowers are they always shoot their shot. They ain't afraid to put it up there. I mean, how do you score buckets? You have to shoot, right? Steph Curry's always shooting. Mars and Sagittarius is always shooting their shot, taking chances, putting themselves out there, and in doing so, they inspire others to chase their freedom, right? Not just stand back and be okay with mediocreness. But I see them the shadow side of that. Doesn't mean bad. It's just something that says, and there's a sun and there's a shadow. The shadow side is kind of they tend to be restless. Restless and it's hard for them to just have peace of mind and relax because they got so much going on. They want to do so much. They don't want FOMO, fear of missing out. And because of that bluntness that they have, they can come across tactless sometimes too, the way they say things. And that's the thing, because they cherish their freedom, they're commitment phobics. Because one thing we get with Sagittarius is and Mars is this optimism of, if I commit to this situation or this person in a relationship, I could miss out tomorrow on something better. So these are just things to keep in mind. So if you have Mars in the house of death, which is the 8th house, my Scorpio shit, I want to know how I'm going to die. I hope it's not violent. Well, dying, there's ways to find that out, more or less. We can talk about that. There's certain ways to look at your chart through synergy, who can tell you where you'll meet your ending, more or less, right? You got to be careful. Do you really want to know that? Yeah. And also, too, it might not be right and exact. There's destiny, but you still have free will. But you can get an idea. But I would look at that house of death as symbolic in the way we have many deaths every day. We go to sleep, basically die in a sense. And we wake up to be born again to a new creation every day. And you can do the same thing if things aren't serving you. You can have your mini funeral for them every day, only to be born again. I have to say, what up, Joe Cool? Put Joe Cool on the inmate list. Yeah. So yeah. Superpowers, yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Your superpowers, meaning like this is what you're good at. Yeah. And that was, when you call something like what you're good at superpowers, just putting a little extra, make it more exciting, you know. What is this? Jack Telcott. Jack Telcott's natal Mars and Aries. Oh shit, that's where it feels at home, Mars and Aries. And tell me if this sounds like Jack. Trying to think what Mars and Aries would put that in the house. So Mars and Aries, I'm gonna call them the raw warrior, and this is to sound like Jack. Their tactics are they're direct, a bit impulsive and competitive too. Fearless and quick to act, right? And this is what triggers them: disrespect, waiting around. You see Jack moving around when he wants to say something and he's not saying it, or waiting people to do whatever they're doing. You can just see them. They get triggered by waiting around and also seeing weakness in others. And that could be like manifested in being annoyed and triggered by people not being what that particular Mars and Aries thinks they should be in terms of their journey of healing or consciousness. But one of their superpowers that they're good at is they can take the first step when others freeze, take an initiative. Some of the shadow sides of those Mars and Aries is they're explosive and reckless and ego driven. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Does that sound like Jack? Does that sound like you? I don't know, let me know. Let me make my tea. You want to spill some tea? Yeah, when Joe Cool's on here, we'll get to the next segment, which I'll start talking about true Mogmaxxing for inner power. Yeah. What is this? He said, you can't hang out with me, Joe Cool? Come on, Unc. Told me I can't talk to you anymore, NPC. Oh, man. That flow state. Luckily, there ain't no more flow state. Just powder dusty. That's what I'm saying. We should put Joe Cool on the inmate list. Yeah, the commitment thing, he said that was a big problem in the 20s and 30s. Yeah. Not the 1920s and 30s, but her when she was around that age. She says, I literally could be living with a boyfriend and be telling him, don't label our relationship. It freaks me out. I knew it. I can see that, man. Don't label our relationship. That's ridiculous. Powder Dusty, all caps, really like that? Stop talking to him now, Joe. Here's what I'm talking about. This is like, wow, we're gonna pull his card, bro. We're gonna pull his card. We're gonna pull the Powder Dusty's card. What I just saw some information. A little birdie told me what flow states Mars is in. Here we go. Powder Dusty. The fuck? Dude, hey. What? You're not supposed to talk to certain people either, Mudcrab. Stop that immediately. We're gonna tell you who you can talk to, who you can't talk to. So Mars and Pisces. The fish. That's going two directions. We're about to do a fucking what they call air out the spot, Chicago style. Al Capone's Valentine's Day Massacre on the Pisces. The Piscean energy. Yeah. All we're doing is, we're just reading these things in terms of archaic, psychological dynamics, right? So those of you with that Mars and Pisces, I think I'll call you the mystical fighter. That's it. Mystical Pisces, a mystical aha experience, larger than life. Fighters, with that Martian energy. Yeah. Mars can be the yogi of the zodiac, but it also can be a fighter. So y'all be labeled the mystical fighters, whatnot. And some of the traits of the mystical fighters could be seen as being creative. Pisces. Look at our Pisces friends, Erica Badu. All my hippie friends back at CIIS in the city. Yeah, very Piscean. Rihanna. No, wait, she's a Virgo, I think. No, she's Pisces. Yeah. So anyway, they're creative, the mystical fighter, Mars and Pisces, intuitive, like a motherfucker, right? And that's the thing. Mars is about instincts already. So when you put it with the Pisces, it gives you this fucking ethereal feeling when something's about to go down. That's the intuitive nature. And I have to say, Mars is very aggressive for the most part, but it's gentle. This placement of Mars and Pisces is gentle. However, it's passionate when they're inspired. You know, like me with the Mars and Leo, I'm like, rah, yeah, like in your face, like theatrical. You know, whereas the Mars and Pisces, they're passionate, except it's just more a little gentle. But when they're inspired, like look out, man. Ain't no stopping them. They're about to show you something that probably like the world's never seen, or at least in that way. Because we all like, that's the thing, bro. Like, don't ever feel. I'm always encouraging people to stream, especially if you're a panelist a lot, because you're already familiar with the YouTube thing. Stream, because don't feel like you have nothing original. Each person's brain's wired in a unique way. In terms of this astrology chamber, the way the planets were, it's just a manifestation, a reflection, as above, so below as above, of the special, unique way your personality is set up. So whatever you talk about, even if you're talking about something that somebody else talked about yesterday, it's going to be unique, especially if you're true. If it's coming from a authentic spot, you know. And so this mystical, creative fighter of the Mars and Pisces. It's I see you, Hank. I'll see you. Well, 1 second, brother. Yeah, some of the things that they get triggered by, I would think would be when people are harshness, you know, harshness. I've seen like there's times when I think I'm reading this right, pointing towards it, like where I've said some harsh stuff on on Flow, and he's like, I can tell he's like, huh? Or other people have said some stuff. He's like, wow, that was like maybe not necessary, or whatever. Something that might trigger them too is a spiritual disconnect, or this cruelty, when someone's cruel to somebody. Say what you want about somebody, about Powdered Dusty or whatever. But I definitely never really seen him be cruel to somebody, because it probably would trigger him. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, you roast motherfuckers left and right, right? When needed, for the most part. But cruelty is something that triggers them. Good thing to them, they have a superpower. They have a knack for art. They're artistic. We see these, in videos and in different mediums and whatnot they use, and that underdog mentality of coming from the gutter and just fighting their way up, man. That's a superpower. Some people start life on third base and they like want to coast in like the old money. Maybe that's Imperious, maybe that's somebody else. But some of us, we started from behind home plate, seems like, in the stands, and we're just getting around second base right now, and that's a big accomplishment. So being able to fight from the underdog position is a superpower. And fighting for your dreams too. You other people and yourself, man. Like, maybe like, hey, you ain't gonna be no streamer, you can't do it. Look at this motherfucker. He's making hitting the charts every week, every day, top YouTube streamer in the US. Maybe he's even even internationally, he's giving it to him. So fighting for your dreams, that's a big superpower. But the shadow side could be escapism. Pisces, yeah, I see that with Pisces. Escapism into other things. Sometimes being passive when you should be a little more aggressive, and guilt-driven rage, right? And I'll leave it at that, man. Yeah. So, what's up, Uncle Hank? How's it going, man?
So I just checked my chart. My Sun, Mercury, and Mars are all in Sagittarius.
Okay, so the Sherelle reading is applicable, kind of like what for you. Do you see that with the triggering? You don't like to be restricted.
Yes, I don't like being restricted, and I also don't like revisionist history, and I don't like unfounded assumptions either, and
lies, basically.
Or lies.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. You're definitely not afraid to shoot your shot. Like, look at you. You always are. When you feel like you have to say something or share something, you do it, huh?
Oh, I'll get it out there somehow.
Yeah. I can see the traits of the bluntness too, of the wild archer.
Yep.
Are you an optimist, Hank?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you see how some people might think you might be like a little black-pilled nihilist, though?
I consider myself a blue pill, actually.
Blue pill, yeah. How
Yep.
so?
So pretty much, even though I know about the red pill, black pill stuff, first of all, black pill is the blue pill. It's the same pill. So
yeah,
that's a pretty optimistic stance in itself. But there's really no difference except the black pill did more research, but they pretty much come to the same conclusion.
Yeah, I think there's only Coach Great Adams. He says there's only two pills: the red and the blue. It's just the black pills are just a little bit more hardcore red pill.
I disagree. Black pill is just hardcore blue pill, because red pill says rituals will change the results, and black pill and blue pill don't. They say they don't, and that's why I say, it's part of the same pill.
Yeah, we have to get into that. Definitely. So Clue Studios, he says salute Clue. A lot of Mars energy for flow. Okay. You back with your coffee? Okay, we ready to go? What's this question? Is there something, Leopard Princess, is there something going on currently with Mars that got you speaking about it? I just did. I just like that energy. Mars, the first planetary magic, meaning using the planets and see how they relate to your life. I did it back in the day with Mars. I needed initiation in my own life. Start some projects, so that's why I'm fucking with it. That's it. And Mars is in Leo for everyone, and that's my sign. Mars and Leo. This is why Mars and Leo's. I like to be center stage, and not necessarily to get accolades, but just to see me perform. This is why I play sports. A lot of Mars and Leo are athletes because we want people to see what the work we're doing. We don't really care about the accolades after the fact, but we want you to let you know that we're getting it in. So, I like this Mars and Leo energy. I feel at home. Yeah. Elon announced, what did he announce yesterday? He's sending unmanned drones to Mars. 2020. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because we're literally going into Mars, the symbolic meaning of Mars. The red planet and whatnot. Yeah, so with that said, let's get into this Mogmaxxing. This Mogging, right? Mogging, male alpha of the group, right? The biggest dude in the building. Let's see. Pause. Let's see this hanky real quick.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Did you lose it?
Yeah, I got excited. I got it.
Don't drop the soap.
Never.
What is mogging? Mogging is a term that has gained popularity on TikTok. It refers to being more physically attractive than other people. Essentially, when someone is mogging others, it means they believe they look better than those around them. This concept is part of the broader trend of looksmaxxing, which involves doing everything within your control to enhance your appearance, whether through skincare, diet, exercise, getting a new haircut, or upgrading your wardrobe. For instance, a man might mog others by having a taller stature, a strong jawline, a deeper voice, or a well-groomed haircut and outfit. TikTokers often use the term to create videos featuring attractive celebrities or models who they believe outshine everyone they're pictured with. So, in a nutshell, mogging is all about looking superior in physical appearance or overall attractiveness compared to others. It's crucial to remember that comparing ourselves to others isn't always beneficial, healthy, or respectful. Each of us has unique characteristics that make us who we are. This habit can be harmful and lead to feelings of depression and inferiority. We strongly recommend focusing on becoming the best version of yourself without constantly measuring yourself against others.
Yeah, you don't want to constantly do it, but hey, time to time, that's good.
They should prescribe a frequency. Like how many measurements do I need to do per volume of time?
Mm-hmm. In terms of Mogmaxxing?
Yeah, how often should I measure myself against others?
I mean,
Exactly. Damn,
I'd say
idea.
We'll just put it out there. 25% of the time. There you go. At least in the beginning, right? 1/4 of the time. We're doing a stream on about Red Mudcrab Mogmaxxing. He's honored. Yeah, he said he's just kidding. I think part of him, he knows he's a mogging, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think, Hank? How often should you tap in with that?
I honestly don't know. But these people say don't do it all the time, and I'm just asking. Well, if there's an expert, tell me. If there's an expert somewhere, tell me how often should I measure myself against other people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first, that's a good question. I think that's a personal thing, and I'm going to say this: like, in terms of Mogmaxxing, that's something that we definitely heard in the red pill spaces. Some of us, or even like some of the dark corners of the Discord, or some of these panels, we've heard we've used the word Mogmaxxing, but it's a meme, we could say. But let's try to break it down like some spiritual warriors and see how it's connected kind of to some of these ancient teachings we've heard before. And also, since we're talking about Mars, there might be some type of resonance there. And hopefully you can level up in real life Mogmaxxing without losing your soul in the process, right? Because if you're totally into looksmaxxing, for example, you might end up like Narcissus, right? Wasn't that the person that looked into the water at his gaze and just fell in there?
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be more like Achilles than Narcissus, to be honest. The way that works.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Achilles would be more apt than Narcissus, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't even say like what Mogmaxxing is. Well, I see Mogmaxxing as it's short for maximizing your ability to mog, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And to mog somebody means to dominate or outshine them physically, socially, or in this case, like spiritually, energetically, right?
Yeah.
And so I can hear a little bit the sound, my voice a little bit. Do you have your headphones on or
yes, I
something
do.
on?
Let me change my audio settings a little bit. Now turn on.
Maybe you can lower them a little bit.
I just turned on reduce background noise. Can you hear yourself still?
No, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Yeah, so this mogging, right? So when I say Mogmaxxing, I'm pointing to the fact that when you do everything in your power to stand above the rest, right? This is like, this could be like building your body or boosting your status, right? That sounds black pill to me, right there. But even like cleaning up and sharpening your style. And what's the thing we always see now? The meme, mewing your jawline, having a nice jawline, huh?
Yes.
You ever seen that? The mewing, people mew.
Yeah, I actually need to work on something different. I need to make my tongue a little bit stronger because I heard myself slurring in my last live stream. So I need to make my tongue stronger so I can get those T's and R's really well. So I've been dropping those. Yeah. Especially when I'm distracted.
Yeah. I mean, I used to go to speech therapy classes when I was younger because my frenulum, you know, that little part of your tongue.
Yeah.
That holds it down. It was really short. And I had to get it. I got it clipped. I had surgery. I had it clipped so I can move my tongue around more freely, you know, and say those words, those S's, like you said, those R's. And then we had to do speech therapy.
Yeah, I had speech therapy as well, but obviously it didn't work very well because I'm still having these issues. So I had to do something different.
Yeah. Then we got lucky. I got blessed. The Shriners helped me out with that. But when you said that move your tongue more freely, maybe we were thinking like Mars sexual desire, oral sex with a female. Right?
Yeah, that would help me.
That would help you, huh? Using your tongue.
Yeah. Right? too bad. There's no really like. There's no street scene in Pittsburgh, at least, or if it exists, I just don't know where it would be. I mean, I drive through Mount Oliver where there's women to be. I guess it was really no. It was raining out, so
you can't go to the strip district on a Tuesday night.
The strip district. Well, here's the thing: the strip district was like that 50 years ago.
Yeah,
it's not that like that now.
Now you can get a nice fish sandwich at Holy's.
Yes.
You like my Pittsburgh knowledge?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean.
Oh, you said okay. Jesus
yeah, it sounds
Christ.
like Hank
is not a glazer.
It sounds like you took a bus tour.
Yeah. Fuck you. Respectfully, you said a bus tour. No, my wife took me there, man. That's where I told you she grew up there. Yeah, I like Pittsburgh. Then we went to. I get it, the tourist thing. More touristy would have been, the sandwich place with the French fries and the
Pimenti Brothers.
Pimenti Brothers. There you go. Let's go. Yeah.
But those things all up in the suburbs, so.
Yeah. Not like I said. Excuse me for locating when I said are you from the Hill District? Yeah. That's the community right there.
Yeah, I passed through there. It's just people really. It's kind of
gangster.
Yeah, well, it just looks like there's nothing happening every time I pass through there.
So, yeah.
So I do not have the eyes to see what's going on.
I mean, but if you're Mogmaxx and you can walk down any street in Pittsburgh, you know, because your body's like a top physical strength. Mogmaxx could also be like your bank account, mogging with your bank account. It's kind of like when you're mogging, you're trying to evolve into this final boss version of yourself. But oftentimes it's for external dominance, right? Not so much internal. Traditionally, the way it's used, right?
Not going for final boss, I'm going for bonus boss.
Bonus boss.
Hell yeah.
Architimable said, there's some strange things surrounding my birth, all which I still don't understand. And not just astronomy, but astrology. I've only scratched the surface in public. Okay. I need the X-Files music. Okay. So when I'm thinking about traditionally thanks for sharing. When I'm thinking about traditionally for gymming, Mogmaxxing, I'm thinking about like gym gains, wearing designer clothes, and I don't do this one, but plastic surgery. A lot of these guys that like that looks max looks at all costs. They do that plastic surgery. Right?
I also the steroids.
Yeah, the steroids too. I mean, we had Hormaxer on here yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. He graced us.
I didn't get a chance to watch that because I was busy.
Ooh.
I'll probably watch it later.
You got to watch that, Hank. I want to hear your take on that. Well, maybe I'll play some of it later. But so yeah, money flexers too. That's the way people try to mog with their money, and then just
That's what mog these panels. I just drop a $5, and that's over 99% of the viewers. So
there you go. Yeah, listen. People trying to mog. Let's see if we can do a mogging contest. Who can out mog somebody with donations today?
Yeah,
right let's money flex.
Yeah, let's start at $6. That's above. Yeah. That's above everyone.
That's above there everyone. You go. Damn. Yeah. Shadow Buddha with the comment. He said Tom Platz, the great bodybuilder. He said, "I don't believe in luck. Luck comes with opportunity meets preparation." Yeah. Oh, big money, big money. Hank O'Flamo. Hank O'Flamo. Thank you, Hank. Thank you, Hank.
So let's Chuck rolls in. That's the highest bid.
Let's Chuck rolls in.
And let's Chuck rolls in. Appreciate that, Hank.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Pay it. Thank you so much, Hank. Generous. Oh man.
And well, for us, it's a token amount. It's like it's a burger.
A burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, $6. How much does a McDonald's burger cost nowadays?
$6.
$6, really?
Yes.
Mm.
Well, you can get like a $3 burger, but if you want to get one off the big menu, $6.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do this goal. So I'm gonna start this goal. Do an experiment. He said, "Do a goal." Okay, we got a goal. Never done this before like this. And what is the goal? What is the goal? The goal is 10 super chats. 10 super chats. There we go.
It says 10 magenta super chats.
Oh shit. That's kind of high. Well, I mean, it's always good to be ambitious. That's a test. Yeah, we got it. But back to this mogging. So like we said about like there's people who mog with their money, even mog with their alpha energy. We were kind of talking about Imperious earlier about the Mars energy. I would say he tries to flex that alpha energy, right?
Yeah, when Floatstick kicked Imperious to the curb, I relocated him. I mean, he was too useful to me.
You relocated him to OTW?
Well, that's why I'm placing Imperious. I pretty much just I said you're too useful. You don't need you can just go to other shows. I gave him access to a couple more Discord servers.
Mm-hmm.
So he can just pop out wherever he pleases.
Yeah. I think I've seen him at a Chaotic Truth for sure. But yeah, you can flex all these things, man. But I think the twist is that it's just those are all external things. Whereas, like we were talking about earlier, the spiritual path earlier in the week, like Don Juan from the Carlos Castaneda books about shamanism, and then we were talking about Aleister Crowley. I know you heard of Crowley, right? Magic
yes,
with
I
the
heard
K.
of him. Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to like think about Mogmaxxing, but put it up against a 1v1 against actually a 1v2 against the spiritual path of Don Juan and Aleister Crowley. You know, so just thinking outside the box how to do that. And basically we're gonna break the fourth wall in this shit. I never heard anybody talk about this because Don Juan and Aleister Crowley can be seen as ancient warriors, mystical warriors that had these paths that had and in their own way they were like Mogmaxxing, but the internal.
Well, no, because Aleister Crowley was a Nepo baby. He was a Nepo baby. No.
No.
Aleister Crowley was a nepotism baby. He had a trust fund.
True. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. But he also did part of his teachings have to do with the internal work. That definitely was his origins. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess being on cracks counts as internal. So I guess I grant that one.
Did you say being on crack?
Yes.
What do you think he was freebasing? I know he was doing heroin and cocaine and hashish. He has that book, a fictional book he read called Diary of a Dope Fiend. That was pretty of a interesting take, first person view about what that life is like. But like we can both say that at least we can say Aleister Crowley and Don Juan, they weren't flexing for the gram, right? For Instagram.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and for the sake of this conversation, let's just say that they were maxing for soul power, you know, and so like Don Juan and who was the Carlos Castaneda's fictional shaman he used to talk about some of these spiritual ideas. He didn't have much muscle. He sounded like this, like a skinny Mexican dude, old dude, right? But he talked about power, just like Mogmaxxing, but he was talking about more about storing personal power, you know. And to Don Juan, you would mog people by becoming unpredictable and disciplined and aware of your death. And when I think about unpredictability, I can almost think about like your Discordianism, Hank.
Yep.
Couldn't be seen as that in terms of like Discordianism, keeping people on their toes, kind of.
Yeah, but I'm only unpredictable because they don't pay attention. I use a pretty standard formula, but they don't pay attention, so I might as well be random.
So it seems like it, huh? Because they're not keeping tabs. Yeah. They're not tapping in with you.
Yeah, I don't have the eyes to see what I'm doing, and I can literally just announce what I'm doing. I can give them my game plan and still won't know how to counter it.
Right. Comment from Shadow Buddha. Why do you think the Eastern religions of Hinduism and Buddhism praise making the body stronger in order to make the spirit stronger, while the Western religions didn't do that as much? I always come back to this. Maybe this is my bet on life is laziness. It's much easier to visualize yourself off into the ethers, into the afterlife, than actually put in the work to building your temple. Hinduism and Buddhism, doing yoga in order to make yourself a vessel of your consciousness, like building that up. This Western religions don't really talk about that, huh? The body.
Yeah, they aren't balanced. I mean, with the Eastern religions, they know you need a mind, body, and spirit, and you have to have it balanced, and then it all works together. Then you're stronger in general. The rest de-emphasize it largely because they're focused on having political power. So then they say personal power.
Right, personal power, yeah. And also too, like if you combine church and state, it's not very beneficial for the state to have their Christian citizens be moggers, like basically looking like Roman gods, Greek gods, right? Kind of dangerous in terms of revolt and whatnot. You still have sleep drinking coffee? Wake up! What'd you say, Hanky?
Yeah, it's dangerous, but but somehow the East has its own way of controlling people. Just they just use tradition instead. So
Yeah. My Pittsburgh honey's sending me a message right now.
But you better get back to her.
Yeah. I learned my lesson years ago, Hank. Live streaming can constantly and not prioritizing your marriage can get you in trouble sometimes. What's going on, OG Joe Cool?
What's good, guys? I ain't heard nothing y'all talking about. I just hopped up after I came from the kitchen, so I don't know what we're talking about. What's up, man?
Typical Joe Cool.
Right.
Well, to reset like the broadcast today, we're talking about Mogmaxxing versus MAGICK. And now Mogmaxxing, we were just talking about is like this
mod or MOG, Mog or mod.
Mog, MOG.
MOG. Okay.
It starts from male of the group, and it's like a red pill term of like kind of like being the alpha of the room.
Okay.
And to mog somebody, like you come on the panel, I mean, Joe Cool can mog a lot of people because you got status, you got height.
All right, mogging.
Literally.
I get it.
Yeah, that type of shit. And there's
mogging, and what was the other one? Mogmaxxing and
mogging versus MAGICK.
Versus
and MAGICK with a K. MAGICK with a K, and there's a specific definition of MAGICK with a K. Without the K, we're talking about like David Copperfield
and shit like that. With the K,
like the stage magic. About? Yeah, now MAGICK with the K is what, like, for example, the musician Aleister Crowley tried to make that shit real, in a sense, using your mind and will to make things happen when you blend it with nature and whatnot.
All right, I'm caught up. Let's go. Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
So that's what we're talking about right now. And so when I was using, I don't know if you heard me earlier in the week, I was talking about Carlos Castaneda, the writer who wrote about these type of things and bending reality, Matrix type shit. And he used this character named Don Juan, a shaman, to talk about this shit. And one of the things Don Juan always talked about, he didn't talk about lifting weights, heavy weights, and mogging at the gym. But he talked about cultivating personal power by using discipline, kind of like strengthening your mind, you know.
All right.
And,
I wonder
also
what
being
that
aware
looks,
of your death.
I'm wondering what that looks like, because if I'm strengthening for myself, I'd be doing just like discipline and being a nice guy and this and that. But if I'm just strengthening for other reasons to dominate motherfuckers, I'd be using different disciplines and shit. So I'm not sure which one he's talking about. Like, let's say, for instance, I was out to be powerful. I'd up my status, come into a room and pull an Andrew Wilson and try to act like I'm more important than everybody. Now I'm bending other people's wills. And the magic part, I'd be, like running game on chicks and trying to grab people's mind. That would be maxing it if I had those intents.
I think with what you just mentioned is definitely the Aleister Crowley, which we were about to get into.
Okay.
That's how he looked at personal power, cultivating personal power. And the Don Juan, at first glance, you're kind of right. You're very intuitive, Joe Cool, with that shit. Because that's a good take. Don Juan, he wants to cultivate personal power for himself, and because he considers that we're warriors, right? However, he does also talk about in his teachings about being impeccable in your living.
Yes,
meaning like kind of like not being a jerk.
Yes.
Too,
yeah. I like
whereas Aleister Crowley don't care really about that shit.
Right.
So because I think power it's the opposite of what we were just talking about. Like power isn't like necessarily dominating others. It's
humbling
mastering yourself.
It'd be humbling
yourself.
Myself. Yeah. That'd be power. Yeah.
It mastering yourself so deeply that no one can trap you.
No one can trap me, trigger me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Now I'm a complete dude. I may look like a bum, with a fucking robe on or something, to the outside people, but I'd be invulnerable to trigger words. I wouldn't be, doing all the vulgar things I do. I wouldn't be all lustful. That's to me. I'd be stoic and not quick to anger and wrath. All that shit.
Yeah, because all those things trap you, and I love how you. It was a flow state where you were just going off telling your narrative. It was interesting, your four corner life, and and what you used to have to do day to day, and how sometimes how you would treat people. And part of you liked some of the shit you were doing back then, like when you're like you yell at the dope fiends and shit, and all that.
You're right.
But obviously, you're not like that. Oh, I don't see it. You're not. You're the opposite here on these panels and stuff. You know.
Now, my being a bad kid is trolling a little bit when I see a motherfucker's temperamental and too sure of himself. I'll stick a couple words in there to slip on it, or have him slip up so that he know he's just a human or something, or some guy being a bully. I'll give him shit, for being a bully. That's me being a imp, what's the word? Imp nowadays.
Imp,
impish behavior nowadays.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily you're not being mean spirited.
Right. In fact, it's the opposite. When I'm doing it, rarely am I just mean spirited. I can't think of it. Normally, I consider it jest. If a person is coming up and taking over the panel as 10 motherfuckers, and this nigga want to talk over everybody, I don't have a problem. Throwing some stumbling blocks up under them or watching somebody else beat up on them. I'm not necessarily sure that's mean spirited. And that I'm always down with. If a motherfucker's polite though, I'm always gonna be polite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The latter thing the latter thing you said it was more like justice. What you feel like you're doing the justice for the community.
The former is the first, the latter is the second.
The former, yes. Yeah. So in terms of like Crowley's version of this, I would say like we know his famous saying is "Doeth thy will shall be the whole of the of the law." Basically, people say that do what you want. That's the number one priority, the whole of the law, right?
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily mogging with your body, but it's definitely maxing out with your true will.
Yes.
Your will. And that was a big thing in philosophy. The will. Schopenhauer talked about it. Your will is the driving force in the universe. The will to, and then the will to live, he called it. And then Nietzsche went further and called it the will to power.
Yeah.
So and then Crowley just loved that shit.
Sound like some Machiavellian shit, right? The will to power.
Yes. Which in a weird way, Machiavelli, when you look at his writing, which I have been lately, it's not very, he's a philosopher, but it's like one of the most unspiritual philosophies I've ever seen, because he ain't talking about God or doing good or evil, which are things are actually abstract, right? You can't put your hand on good or evil.
Right.
He's just talking about like how to get power.
How to succeed and be powerful.
How to succeed. Exactly.
Well, I would say that's spiritual, but you don't need to just create magical entities because spiritual used to mean social, but some people change the definition to mean magic stuff that you can't see or touch and doesn't have any influence.
I've never heard that, Hank, that spiritual used to be interchangeable with social. I always thought spiritual meant the unseen and shit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've heard people like use it in different ways. I've heard people use the masculine principle and say like masculine is the spiritual one because everything starts with the thought.
Yeah.
Thoughts. And then the females manifested in the physical.
Yeah. I'm trying to give the females more due because they do seem to have the corner on that emotional thing and sensing stuff. Right, which I'm so bad at because I chase logic. I am trying to. It's weird, really, really hard to, embrace motherfuckers like Cynthia with her feelings, and I just feel it's just like this. To me, I want to yell at those people, but there's something to that shit. You're just feeling a thing and going with the feeling. That's just as valid as me using my logic. I'm sure.
Right. These are something about feelings that you're like, you don't feel in touch. Because I remember you identify as an analytical, and I see it, but that's how you self-identify.
And I would have been drowning feelings and shit here because that would have been like exposing your belly. I would have had 50 years of drowning feelings and trying to act a certain way. It's hard to just embrace them now.
but which is like in terms of your natal chart, what I know about you being a sun Cancer, which is like the opposite. You would that would be you would see what you're at home with. And I even though you're a little one of the most analytical motherfuckers, skeptics I know, I think your underlying mode of being is feeling. That's a superpower you have because you're one of the most feeling motherfuckers in this place. And I don't say it as a way. I think that's the superpower you have, man. That's very masculine in this shit.
That's good to hear. I mean,
you know,
because I agree with you that like one of my guys, he's like super troll. We're good friends, but he used to tell motherfuckers, you know, Joe wears his heart on his sleeve. I think we're saying exactly what he is saying. He was like, that's not necessarily a bad thing, man. You know, that's just me. I show my feelings when I say shit like, oh, I love you niggas. You're not supposed to do that, right? You're not supposed to get all giddy and shit. What's up? You're not supposed to do that, you know. So
well, I mean, but it's actually very brave. Especially to do it in this day and age when on default the world seems like it's trying to get you.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like I'm gonna show how I love. Fuck you. Come at me for it.
Yes. I saw only was for a couple seconds. I saw what his name Sasquatch go over to OTWs. I stopped in and said hi, and as soon as Sasquatch hop up there, fucking Snafu comes up.
Oh my god!
You pedo supporting piece of shit, blah blah blah, and that's what you're talking about. And he's getting on him for being with Flo. He's a grifter, you know. He's been involved in scams and this and that, but that shows the strength of Sasquatch, right? Because people are gonna try and judge you for the company you keep and blame you for something Flo State did. That's when showing your love for a person. But do you know what he did? You wouldn't hear when he did this and that. You're not allowed to love a motherfucker.
Yes, he was. And he's one of Flow State's producers. He has Sasquatch and he has KT. So, but I saw that earlier. In fact, I actually have a beef with OTW since he's Snafu snaps his life support system. I have a beef with him.
It's the last outpost.
Yeah,
right.
So just waiting for him to turn off that machine, then it'll be good.
That's interesting, Hank. I used to call it the wounded rat room. You know, when people get beat up and do shit that's unpopular, they find each other. You know, your enemies find each other, and I would walk in, like, is this the wounded rat room? People would jump on me. Like, come on, Joe, that's not nice.
Yeah. Now there's one room, this like, you know, the 33 station 33, man. That's the one where everyone goes, all the island of misfit toys, I'll call it. And one of these days I'm going to do Chicago style, what they call it, a St. Valentine's Day massacre, and just air out that bitch show cool.
Yeah, I can't even go over there and watch, dude. You know,
M20.
M20,
Yeah. Tommy wants to hoop me back up because I showed Jack the I guess the hypocrisy of his own suggestions.
Really?
I mean, I mirrored back his own suggestions, which he's not taking.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yes. Yeah, mirrored back his own suggestions, which he's not taking. Right. Then he's pissed at us for not doing the thing he also won't do, even though he believes in his thing so much more than we do.
Yeah.
So just mirrored that's a back. So Tommy liked that, so he's trying to get me back. But I'm actually trying to help Jack, not trying to destroy him. But the thing is, I have a thing about people making suggestions they won't take themselves. So I go ahead and put a mirror in front of him and say, "Here you are. That's on
topic, Hank, because he was just talking about that's showing heart. That's another time when showing heart gets you in trouble. Even from the guy you're showing it to. When you're telling them, maybe you shouldn't do this, you know, that chick's a slut. She slept with 60 niggas. She cheats on everybody. Fuck you. She loves me. You're trying to show some heart that the person attacks you.
Yeah. That's how I literally probably lost the relationship with my brother. Got estranged from my brother. He was trying to tell me that stuff.
Yeah.
And my little bro. And then man. I mean, the door's always open for me, but because that's it's kind of crushing when you're trying to tell someone you love, trying to give them their blind spot and try to help them, and then they throw it in your face.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know it don't even pay. I caught my brother's girlfriend. I was fucking with her. I guess it was her cousin or sister or something. So we're all in the car together. She forgets that she's my brother's girlfriend, and I'm in the back seat with her sister or cousin or something. And she up front with another chick, and she's just run off at the mouth. Oh, and I met this dude at the restaurant. He's so cute. And one of the chicks like, "Did you forget who in the back seat?" She's like, "God damn it!" So now I got to decide if I'm gonna tell my brother. It didn't work out. It didn't work. He's not a player, you know. It was just horrible. Whole experience was bad.
Yeah, it's a bearer of bad news, which is actually good news. This is a vengeful truther. He said, "Do with thy will." Who said that? Satan. Yeah, pretty much. He was the first person that said it, according to the Bible. I'm going to do what I want to do. God. Yeah, he did what he wanted to do. So when I say superpower, Arctic Timberwolf, I'm meaning like what you're good at. You know, I'm just putting some extra on it so you can remember it. What you're good at, you know?
Yeah,
he said, damn, Joe cool. Damn, Joe cool. He's in the back here and all that shit. Yeah.
Then I have to refer back to the Bible. My favorite Bible verse, Isaiah 45:7. What was it? Should be able to recite it by name, but basically God created good and evil, including Satan. So who's where does the buck stop? It stops at God. So if he wants it different, well, he could just snap it different. So
well, Hank, as far as the doest thou wilt, if that's what you're commenting on, a lot of those Aleister Crowley type fucks, Jay-Z type fucks, and superstars, they believe in God, but they also believe in the devil, and they believe God is more powerful, but he put the devil down here to run this. So they don't mind going to the devil for worldly things. If I want to control a person or money or something, you pray to the devil for that. And if you need the other thing, you pray to God. They feel like they're adults and we're kids because we'll only fuck with God and we're afraid to fuck with the devil, that type of shit.
It's like they're using the whole chessboard.
Yes, and they can't.
You can't lose that way, right?
But no, I don't know about that. I was going to say
at least in the material realm, you can't.
They can't. Yes, I would agree, but I didn't want to try not to lose the thing. They can't respect us if we're unwilling to use all the tools available to us.
Yeah. Like
I'm
lightweight.
I'm actually with them. If you have the tools available and you refuse to use them, and it's not like you have a strict code, you're just ignorant. Then I have to say, hey, you're ignorant. Try this thing.
Well,
so I'm actually with them.
Oh, okay. Well, this look what Vengeful Truther said.
No, I'm sorry.
Would you say
you're wrong, Hank? No, you're not with them because that also means fucking over other people to put yourself forward. That also means telling a motherfucker, you know what comes with that. And I don't think you're that dude, motherfucker. You're just trying to sound hip. You ain't gonna fuck me so you can get a leg up. Yeah, you
dark side.
You know, hurt fucking NPC just so you can fucking look good or get some clout or something.
I don't need to hurt him in particular. I mean, I hurt people. You saw
See,
me.
you got a heart, nigga. You like, not NPC. That nigga cool. That's what I interpreted. That's what I just heard.
No,
but go ahead.
Hey, Buddha and I were just talking about you in a good way. We were like, I'm thinking about the Paddleverse. He was actually the most straight up person that actually. I never really seen him like fuck anyone over. Or not for that extent. I never seen Joe do that really. But Hank, I'm like Hank. Yeah, you get what you get with Hank. He's straight up, right? And the only thing we came to was like, dude, Hank throws himself in these situations, man. He's he's an instigator at times, man.
He loves it. You look at him with that big ass smile on his face with motherfuckers he catches. He be loving it. The only thing missing is the popcorn. He loves that shit.
Exactly. That Michael Jackson.
And he seems to be bulletproof, right? You know, because he'll walk in there and, I'll get attacked, me, Flo. It'll be a bloodbath. Hank will walk right up in there and fuck you, Paul. And fuck you. And nobody seems to come at him. I do something like that. I'll get chased by 12 niggas, snafu. That piece of shit, Joe Cool. Hank, see, he be talking shit, you fucking police officer, snafu, snap, sellout FBI agent. No smoke. Seem to catch no smoke.
Yeah. He never takes the L. Hank, you're always winning too, right?
It
Pretty
seems
much.
like it. Yeah.
Pretty much.
the-
Yeah, he always says that.
The only person that's like a remote threat in this corner, Powerless, is the Machine Lies, and right now we're working together most of the time.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to Machine Lies.
Well, yeah, that's
and his people. Yeah. So like the back to the Crowley, the true will, right? That was that's what he was maxing out on, not necessarily physical. When I think of Crowley, I think about how he was like sharing about your divine self, and he would use ritual, like ceremonial magic.
Yeah, they believed that rituals. A lot of
so
people
real.
believe that it's a really big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the willpower and the which one of the things I resonated with, he wanted the liberation from the herd mentality, you know. But back to the real quick, back to the ritual, dude. I was just looking at Larry Hoover because I think that's one of my next streams is going to be about Larry Hoover. Because I was excited about it, but to hear you talk about it on Flow State yesterday, Joe, you're like a little kid. You're like,
That's
it's like Christmas
geek,
time.
bro.
What's going to happen?
He ain't even one of my guys. He would have been in my youth. I'd have probably got stars and status for trying to hurt him when we were a kid. But now that we're older and all of that shit, I admire the fuck out of that dude.
You realize he's a legend in general, like for the whole that whole chamber. That Chicago gangland chamber. And community in general. Because like you said, he's doing growth and development now.
Right. He's changed that whole thing. We couldn't believe it. Because I was young. I was like, bullshit. They trying to trick us. But no, he was serious. He was even changing GDs. And that's before the BDs was even a thing. And now they're a big thing now. Right. They done split and become huge now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And the reason I bring it up with the ceremonial magic is because look at all the thumbnails. They had Larry Hoover and they had the gang script. Those are sigils, magical sigils. The sigil is like when you the graffiti in the old English and the symbols that you guys have.
Yeah. Okay. It's like
it's very magical. Magical symbols.
That's dope.
And what a sigil is. Hey, can you describe a sigil?
Yeah, it's so pretty much like a tag that means something. So it's kind of like shorthand for a bigger, like a paragraph. But so like sometimes I call that zebra thing, like zebra with chains. That's a sigil for zebra in a cage, as in zebra going to jail. So that's what that sigil means. Yeah. So it just powers up. It pretty much it's a pivot on people's interpretation. So people.
Wait, MC, you got me thinking, motherfucker. Fuck, you got me thinking now. Because I think I think you're right, and there's magic in there. I didn't think of that, right? I just thought that. But yes, every gang sign it would be a sigil, because it would speak to the right person, and it means so much. And perhaps even fucking ads. I had to think about it. It's probably all
ads for sure. You're on it. Look at this, Joe. This because what all these things we're talking about, sigils and ads and marketing, it hits the subconscious.
Yeah. Yes.
Look at this shit.
Yeah, that's GD. I grew up with that, Joe. I grew up with that.
So not only does it hit the subconscious, it hits the conscious. Sometimes it's more important to hit the conscious than the subconscious. So it hits the conscious as well.
Yeah, right, that too. You're right, because there's probably only one mind as it is, but we like to break things up as humans to try to understand. So all these are symbols, and like this whole thing could mean something bigger than just these words in your subconscious.
It strikes.
This is like a nice condensed.
Seeing that on every fucking wall, I would have been programmed as a young kid to attack that.
Thank you.
So yes, of course it strikes me, yo.
Yeah, all that. So.
We're a 5-point star, by the way. They under the 6, we under the 5.
You're under the 5, right?
We're under the 5.
So, so would you be allies with O Block niggas?
You would think we would. We have a common enemy, but no, I don't know why that is.
Everyone's your ops.
Yeah, we hate everyone.
My friend told me about the 4 Corner Hustlers years ago.
We would even fight each other. If we couldn't get another gang to fight, we would split during that summer and fight each other. It was just like really the worst fucks on the planet.
So this can be explained by the Illuminati card game. every extremist group is the opposite of each other. They're just hyper extreme. Hyper opposite. The hyper opposite. So every extreme group is treated as the opposite. So that's why.
Hey, I'm finna text, so you might not be able to hear me, and I may have a problem with mic. I ain't going with it.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So while Mogmaxxing, I want to say, wants to rule the outside world. The mystics like Don Juan and Crowley, they probably want to rule the inner world. And when you master the inner world, you kind of mog the matrix itself, right? Because a lot of the spiritual traditions, they tell you all is mind. This is all going on in our mind, and the mind is probably located somewhere inside you. So the more you can master and have discipline with your thoughts, for example, and even the way you hold your breath and all that, like you probably can start manipulating the external world as well.
Can you hear me? Hello, check.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
The first part of what you said, you said something about your thoughts in your mind. What was you saying there? I was
saying like these mystics, their way of Mogmaxxing, which is to dominate, is to the inner world.
Right.
Inner
So
world
I was
techniques.
trying to formulate, something I could tangible I can hold in my head as you were saying that. You say they use discipline to focus stuff. What would that look like? What were you thinking? And I'm doing. I'm smoking in my mind. I can feel it leaving as I'm, hitting the ball. My words.
I would say like extreme focus, like a meditation.
Okay.
Which is, to me, meditation is like, people would say like the goal of meditation is to not think about anything. Well,
that's true.
It's true, but in order to do that, there's levels to this shit. You got to be able to focus on something. Right?
I don't think you can open the gate. There are people who say they went a lifetime without reaching that level and meditate every day. I think that is the one hang up. I think if you blank yourself, they come to you and they control everything. That's meditation. If you focus on something, there's probably other people who like, I never truly got there, blah, blah, blah. That's that thing anyway.
No, I think you're right. A lot of people say that. That's why I said, like, if you say like my goal is to think about nothing, well, you have to focus on nothing. But in order to focus on nothing, you have to cultivate how to focus.
Yeah.
And the way to cultivate how to focus is to meditate on something, one particular thing.
I don't know if that's allowed. Well, this is the way I do
it is for some disciplines. Yeah. You got to focus on
I'm
something.
sure it is in many ways, and I know nothing.
And you know what?
But
in terms of to bring it back to like Mogmaxxing, the way we use it on the physical, about bodybuilding, getting your body up. Right. This is what the great bodybuilders do, like Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney and Tom Platz, is they literally focus on that one muscle group.
Right.
I'm
so glad you said that. Listen,
you know what I mean?
I was so glad you said that. God is good.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Absolutely.
that, the first thing you have to focus on is your muscles. You have to relax each one. I was about to say that it's funny that you took it to Ronnie and the Coleman them and you're talking about how they focus on the muscle. I did that shit. And it would take me, I don't know, it might take a week to learn to really relax one muscle.
Yeah.
One
muscle.
It takes a long time because you think they're relaxed, but it's not. Your neck is always firing, and you have to relax every fucking muscle. You don't even realize that your leg, you never realize in day to day that it's bent and a muscle is doing that. So one at a time. After a few weeks of that, then you let no thoughts enter. In fact, as soon as one come in, you what I do, I don't know what you're gonna do. What I do is I say shh. I hush myself. If ever thought shh, and I've trained myself for a long time, and then they come immediately. They come, and you don't have to think and focus. You're not doing anything. You're just along for the ride. It's like being off of a mushroom or something. You're just along for the ride.
You're like observing. Yeah. And this is what I think too. This is when weed for some of us can be help. Yeah. In a sense, it helps you focus on those.
It would help relax the monkey, the muscles. It would help you relax the mind. Yeah, weed. That's us. Seem like
if you see the movie Pumping Iron, the documentary about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his friends.
I'm
like he was smoking. He would smoke weed and then hit that particular muscle bicep and just focus on that shit. Yeah. Hank, what were you gonna say, bro?
And Lance, you should probably help up here. I know Lance got some.
Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, you're more than welcome. It's been a minute, Lindsay.
So here's a few things. So you don't need. Sometimes this meditation's optimized for a different society. What we need to do. Americans are too sedentary. We need to get up if we can meditate. We need to use our body to the fullest, or we won't be able to get there. Whoa,
hold on. Say that again.
Americans need to get off their asses. I'll say it again. Americans need to get off their asses where they can properly meditate because they've been too sedentary. If they use a meditation practice used for laborers, you're not going to get into that space. Then you need the weed.
But am I hearing that? I think you're saying that fuck meditation. Y'all need to fucking meditate on the job or meditate on fucking doing something. I think
we call it walking meditation.
Yeah, walking meditation.
Yes, you need walking meditation because you're unbalanced and being too sedentary.
Right.
So, so you mean sitting meditation if you're doing laboring all the time, but most Americans need walking meditation because they sit on their ass too much, so they need to get off their ass and be balanced.
All right, Hank, you got me thinking. I want to ask NPC a question because of the way you got me thinking here. If Hank's right, and you need to, folks, you can't be all meditation, sitting down, being quiet. You got to do the other extreme too, motherfucker. Get up, do something, blah, blah, blah. So could that be true with all things? Perhaps you have to, the yin and the yang. Perhaps you have to indulge in a little fucked up shit. You can't be always doing a certain thing. Perhaps you're supposed to go do fucked up shit from time to time. Is that a thing?
It's an absolute thing. This is when some people, the Jungians, would call it the shadow work, working on your shadow, the things that are hidden. Look at just the way the universe is made up. We have nights and days, right? Long periods of light, of like positive things and growing, and then also long periods of death or just internal things going. Yeah, like things on the surface may like nothing's happening, but underneath there's a lot of growth and movement happening. So yeah, I think there's a both. There's always
cycles.
Yeah, there's a time and season for everything.
Cyclic. I don't want to get you off on your moons and stars shit, but everything does seem to be cyclic. Because I'm out of my depth. We need to talk about that at one time. I need a crash course so I can keep up with some of the conversations, which I don't even think a crash course is going to do for me. It's like you motherfuckers speaking rocket science. I don't understand a word. When y'all having them things. Yes, and I don't understand one fucking word.
This is all to me. It's just like, and I try to keep it like anyway, like easy. Like keep it simple in the sense that like all you got to do when we start talking about like this Pluto means transformation is think about the not necessarily the name I'm given, but just the transformation part, that part, and see how that relates to something that's happening in your life.
So I think you're saying there's a short language. What do you call it?
Shorthand.
What do you call it?
A shorthand. Shorthand.
Yeah. Shorthand for some of this shit.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily, because unless you know a little bit about your chart or what your sun sign is and all that, you know what it is. It really doesn't matter to me. It's like these themes, because I could be talking about astrology, but talk about how the cats walk down the alley in my house and have a name for each cat that represents an archetype of what's going on, and we can still get value out of it, right?
You might
it's
be
just
right.
to me,
I'd have to know the basics, because
for example, like this
Mars was so and so.
Well, listen,
giggling like y'all mean something.
No, because to me it's like the planet, whatever. That's cool. That's just a name because you're more than Joe Cool. You're more than.
I understand where you're going. So when you say Mars, they know that you mean a certain energy. If say that's the word you're using.
Yes, that's just why. Like when I do say Mars, I always say I'll say Mars, anger, war, trigger. Always like that's almost like I have Tourette's. I have Tourette's because I'm reminding people and myself that this is why we use the term Mars. This is what's more important.
Yes,
that's it. And like this broadcast is about Mars. What triggers people? And what triggers people is usually some trauma behind. There's trauma behind it. And
yeah, always, right? It seems to
yeah.
be what dictates people that trauma shit.
Yeah, see, Joe Cool and Arthur General have trauma about astrology. No, I was kidding. No, I have to say, no, this is good because it gets me to get in my bag harder and cultivate some sharing mechanisms, teaching mechanisms where I can be clear.
Speak a language that
yes.
the other motherfuckers speak.
It's like I speak a mile a minute sometimes when I'm teaching English to these kids, and I forget, like, holy shit, they didn't grow up in America, so I got to slow it down a little bit. OG,
I have to actually articulate words. I don't have to do that on the street. No one's ever asked, "Huh? What you saying?" Wait, you can just slur your ass away, and it's cool here. It doesn't fly so much on a panel.
Yeah, and shout out to Haimza Oracle Alexander, Oracle in astrology and many things. Lindsay, good to see you.
She probably Haimza probably one you be talking to. There'd be a couple. Chicks
but here's the thing: like when she's talking, sometimes she's schooling me on the astrology, even though I know. But here's the thing: like maybe one thing that we might be a little bit different in is the fact that because I'm not as studious as her, it seems like in astrology, I'm just taking what I know and making my own soup with it. And so it's like, to me, it doesn't matter if it's Vedic or which is another type of astrology or Western, what we use.
Right.
Just know the themes I'm talking about. Focus on those things and how they relate to your life. Even if you hate astrology or indifferent or confused by it.
I understand.
The themes.
Themes, you say? Is that what you say? Themes?
The themes.
The themes that are in common. I get it. Like, let's say I'm dealing with some maybe creators on YouTube or people who audit as opposed to cop watch or something, and they speak a slightly different language and work in a different way. I find that theme, as you just called it, and we all have that in common.
Right.
So I can reach on that level. I agree.
That's the most important thing. Yeah. And then we can go from there. So I'm going to talk about this the Mogmaxxing. So Lindsay.
Alistair Crowley shit. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Alistair Crowley thing. Yeah, and Lindsay is trying to get up to speed. Like basically what this is we're talking about Mogmaxxing, which is this is another slang for building up your body and your looks and your money to the optimal point. That's an external thing we can say in general. Rather than like some of the people I've been talking about this month, like are mystical people, mystics who are more about the internal power, cultivating internal power, like discipline, concentration,
like people work
focus.
On their body and muscle build, and it's something get really strict. He named some good names that it just look like rocks, granite. There are people who work on the mental just as hard, and trying to achieve the shit that might slip by most of us. And they're out there putting in hours, endless hours, being a certain type of person. It doesn't show physically. How would it manifest? I'm asking y'all, how would it manifest? What would it look like? The guy who's really talented in his mental, what's he look like when I bump into him on the street?
I think it can, most of the time it could be unassuming, but if you actually look into their eyes, they have this electricity about them.
No, I won't do. You gotta do better. Fuck that, because I want to identify this nigga on the street. I won't be staring the nigga's ass looking for electricity.
I agree.
Hank,
I agree.
Even worse, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know about no ass, OG.
I agree with Joe Cool. I want proof of work. I mean, I don't even trust Crowley for that because I think he got thrown out of 10 countries. So Crowley wouldn't meet the qualification in my book.
You can say Crowley got thrown out of 10 countries.
Oh yeah, for sure, he did. Okay. I mean, shit. Look at his works. I guess his works, man, because that could be his words, but like what he does. Yeah, a lot of these people are artists too, in some form or the other.
In the sense that a Tupac still affects nigga today, he still affects nigga today. And in the sense
look at that motherfucker. He's like a midget. Like he's not very impressive, like physically. But
that dog, and I didn't. Did I just bring? I thought I was bringing that up, but see, that's mental shit. It's in the background. I'm not even looking at the phone. But mentally, I was like Tupac. I drew that from looking at the screen unconsciously. Anyway, that was just. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, well, here's something like now. This is what I'm with Shadow, Buddha, and myself and a few others. We want to be external and external and internal moggers, and this is one of the dudes that actually kind of personifies it. That I've seen. This guy Tom Platz.
Tom I thought you was gonna say Tupac. I don't know a lot about Tom.
No, Tupac first.
He was
let me show you
too.
Tom
He's
Platz.
internal and external mogging.
Oh yeah, he is because he is pretty. He's not like beefy or anything, but he's physically fit, lean, and muscular. Tupac, yeah. He got money.
Yeah, and
some ladies say he's good looking. Some ladies like the way he looks.
Yes, he played that power, and he's also. Some people see him as the greatest Black Panther, dear mama, motherfucker. You know, he's also
of all time.
Got that shit happening.
Yeah, so there's Tom Platz. He was he never won Mr. Olympia, but he was always up in there. And he used to be called the Quad Father because his quads were so impressive and whatnot. But he has this take on bodybuilding that's interesting, that he fuses consciousness with bodybuilding. That's kind of interesting. So let's hear what he has to say.
Corporate life and in the gym. But if you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something. I'll repeat that. If you want something bad enough, this is the last 50 yards. You got to go. You got to give. Do not fail.
Wow.
You can't be a loser. See, I mean, to me, that's kind of inspiring, though. Like, just giving it all, man, and just focusing and pushing it. Yeah, man.
I had the attention of the guy, and I thought I heard the police or something. Actually, I thought I heard gunshots. I missed most of that. Heard tires screeching and then, but that's
the video.
I was easily distracted. Don't worry about that. But I was just saying why I wasn't my normal talking. And I'm still, if I'm being honest, looking around out the window, see if I see a blue light.
So you're saying you ran out of pot? Is that what you're saying?
No, I might be. I'm annoyed from smoking too much, but okay. The guy that we just saw, I dig it. You dig it. He's physically maxing.
Well, yeah, but mentally too, because I mean, this just
wait. This question's for Hank. Hank, you saw how big that dude got by physically maxing. The guy who works that hard at the mental, what's he look like, Hank?
Oh yeah, the guy who works that hard at mental is just not. He's not gonna be swayed by Fox News, MSNBC.
He's not easily swayed.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
It's not easily swayed.
Oh, that was dope.
Yeah.
Very good answer, right? That's perfect.
No, but that's true. But like the guy that's meant in the internal mogger is that guy, Tom Platz, because I don't know if you heard what he was saying, that like how he had to use.
Oh, that was the guy you was talking about. That was him. That was actually.
Physically he was at the top like 1.0.1111% when he had his prime. Yet he also had the mentality of the external mystic, where he would really focus on his consciousnness in order to bring him into higher states.
All right,
like
this is me being stubborn, but I don't. To me, he can't be the guy who fucking Hank was just describing. Just on the sense that if you see some really pretty chick that spent all her fucking time doing the right makeup and so she's ditz in between the ears. That nigga's no way. I guess it's possible now. He could be older or something, but no way a nigga who spent all that fucking time roiding and just living that can be versed in the other thing like he should. He just shows me.
Normally you would think that in the and especially nowadays, there's so many Instagram conspiracy truther women that are beautiful, that are like do their makeup every day and can fucking knock your socks off in their knowledge of what's really going on.
I don't believe you, boy.
There is. Okay, well I've seen it, and then the thing about
the smartest chicks to me are not the one that spend an hour in the fucking mirror. The ones that's most intellectual. In fact, some of them be even looking raggedy. The most chicks that I admire most for their intellects, they just seem to neglect, or maybe they're naturally cute and all that, but No, I haven't seen the Barbie doll.
I'm not. We're generalizing though, Joe.
I am. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like there is some, like,
point, nigga. You're
but yeah,
people
but
that
most
don't.
of them, yeah, most people that are into like the cultivating their consciousness, there are they don't put it as much as their appearance. But I've been in these circles, bro. I grew up in the Bay Area where this is their thing, cultivating internal power with all the new age stuff and whatnot. And some of those girls, that they may be hippie-ish, but they take their appearance and their body sculpting very seriously as much as their consciousness.
Well, that's how you have control socially, like scoping your body for women. But their appearance is more important than men's appearance in general because they have more leverage.
It's a bigger deal to them than it is to us. Yeah.
I mean, when you get into those circles, of men, like especially for bodybuilding and aesthetics, men care a lot about that. Certain men, they care a lot about that shit. And what I'm saying about back to the Tom Platz, you say, I mean, I just showed you like a minute of him talking, but when you hear his story, he talks about when he was training from Mr. Olympia, what made him different than a lot of other guys is like, yeah, he would push it so hard in the gym, but then he would, after that, he'd go to Venice Beach, go to the beach and have fun with the girls, and have a good social life and read philosophy and do all kinds of cool shit like that. So in a sense, I guess he's like a Renaissance man, you would say.
Right. And now he's more appealing,
Because it's great to be all conscious and stuff like that, but I don't want to be some dysgenic slob that I want my inner to reflect my outer and vice versa.
That's that black people shit too. We gotta have a crispy tea and all of that.
There you go.
That's the good thing.
You got it.
In that respect, right?
Yeah, right. I want a crispy inside and outside, man.
Yes, I want to be sharp on the inside, and I want my, I want to feel good on the outside. I don't need a fucking gold chain and all that bullshit to feel good. But man, a crispy, fresh tea, man, and suddenly, man, you can pull off miracles.
Well, speaking of that, man, like we're talking about Mogmaxxing and pure Mars as a pure Mars energy. This is where it gets juicy, and you see it with the whole Inglewood. Is that what it's called in Chicago? Where a lot of
we had an Inglewood. Well, that's south.
Yeah, like when I think about that energy, I'm thinking about the planet Mars, which is war, aggression, people driven by their ego sometimes.
Of course, that's a big part of it, right?
It's sex, because a lot of these murders, like in Oakland, was sort of a girl, like people getting
same thing
over a female,
and social media. I'm still hearing horns and sirens. Social media. And these kids live in that realm. So it's like somebody running past. I might be hopping off here or something.
Okay.
Social media right now, as opposed to when I was a young motherfucker, you see a motherfucker from time to time, you might get into some beef with them and that type of shit. Now it's as soon as you get up, everybody's in here. That nigga saying what? Now the communication network is gonna breed more fucking drama, fights, beef, chip on their shoulder, teenage ass niggas.
Yeah, because that's the Mars is reaction, action, and reacting quick, and you got to dominate. In social media, he's like this person said what,
right?
And he's drop the location.
If you led by Mars, I can see that would be detrimental.
Yeah, because it's because what it comes down to on a positive primal level is Mars is about survival. This is why we do these things. It's to survive, right? And but the pride of it gets in the way of survival.
It started with survival.
It started with survival. Yeah, then they got the power. Then they got the pride.
Yeah, now it becomes like weird, right? It comes twisted.
Yeah, because when someone's under the Mars Act or aka Mogmaxxing, they're activating this I gotta win at all costs, man. I gotta be feared. I gotta be stronger than you.
Yes, and that leads to people acting weird. For instance, a wise motherfucker like Hank was talking about, we'll see that guy walk into the room overcompensating. he'll come in either bragging about his bread or something he did, or, you know, all of that type of shit.
Yeah. You see, shout out to Markella for posting me up. Yeah, you donations are welcome. Buy me a coffee, even better than YouTube, because it takes only 5%, whereas YouTube takes 30%. Appreciate that.
Yeah, when I see someone overcompensating, I ask for proof of work. Oh, okay, you this good. Show some evidence. So that's why.
I'm sorry. Let me text Guru. He just texted me. I want to tell him to come over here. I forgot about it. Give me a second. I can hear y'all. You might not.
Okay, go ahead, Hanky.
Yeah, so when someone's overconfident, I just ask for proof of work to see if they or if they're honest or if they're trying to deceive me. So that's what I do.
It's show and prove, right? Yeah. I mean, because like in the end, bro, like I heard Paul use this word. It's funny because when it's true, it's like a lot of people don't want to be seen as the beta male, the lower end, right? And because of that, they don't want to be seen as a beta male. Their pride keeps them everywhere they go is like a battlefield. And but there has to be a beta. Sometimes we got to be beta. Sometimes we got to be humble and listen. Right.
Well, that's Pussy Paul. That's why we had the falling out, because he wanted to be the alpha. He wanted to tell me where I could go on the internet, and that's absurd. You're not paying me shit, so you're not gonna tell me where I can go on the internet. That's ridiculous.
What you just said kind of proved my point in a sense, like where I said like we can't be beta. We feel like we can't be beta, but let's be real. Like even the alpha has to be humble himself sometimes.
Yes.
And, like, listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will become confusing. You know, low IQ motherfucker would think alpha mean dominating motherfuckers and all of that bullshit. That's being alpha, and then he's gonna end up trying to control motherfuckers, and it's gonna be a really bad look. You had niggas like Hank on panels talking about, nigga, you ain't telling me where to go.
Exactly. So you sound like Tupac.
It's not so fucking alpha. It's better to be smooth.
Yeah, that's what you're smooth, and this is what it comes in, Joe. I think the higher octane of the Mars energy is the spiritual. It's the spiritual warrior, the builder, not the destroyer.
Okay,
right? Kind of like the martial artist who doesn't have to fight unless you know, unless they have to. Right?
Is not to fight. Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Because not fighting and winning is much cheaper. That's what Sun Tzu says.
Yeah.
Less losses, opportunity for losses, but the lower Martian energy is more like insecure warlord.
Yes,
you know, insecure, right? You seen the dogs, like the little Chihuahuas are the most barkety, like shut the hell up. It's because they're insecure a lot of times. You know,
very good. Yes. No, you're right. You're right on point.
And Joe, those people you talk about that have to be the loudest in the room and flex their biatch or their money, like those are the clout chasers, man. That's the lower Mars. And a lot of times they're driven by rage, and their shadow dominates their ego. You know what I'm saying? And
the shadow. I don't know what y'all use word shadow a lot. And
the shadow means just like the things you want to hide from people. Like if you're like if one thing, if like you're good at, you enjoy being around luxury and whatnot, right? That could be your son, like part of it was your son. But then the shadow of that is the fact that you like being around luxury and you have a lot of luxury, you know how to get it. However, the shadow side is you can be maybe a little greedy sometimes because you don't want to share. You know, it's just shadows just looking at the things that you don't want people to see. Because we all have things we don't want some people to see.
You're saying your shadow side dominates your ego. I think that was the last thing you said. I was trying to make sure I understood it.
No, it's on a lower vibration person, Mars energy. The shadow would dominate.
Right. Like, the warlord.
The warlord, exactly. Rather than being the spiritual warrior. Yeah. Because when you mog out of insecurity,
shadow, now it makes sense. Dominates the ego. That would be Paul. That would be clearly Paul.
Say that. I'll let you say it.
Well, I'll say it.
I like
that
Paul.
Anxiety.
I will also
like Paul
say
too. But that anxiety that he has is from something that he doesn't want to examine or keep hitting or keep hitting.
I can see that because I see that in myself too.
Yes, we all each other's mirrors, man. Right? We all
Here's
each other's
a
mirrors.
here's an anima, the feminine. What's up, Lindsay? Good to see you.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you. I was typing at the same time. Am I loud? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear
You're
you.
clear.
You can hear you.
Okay, thank
Nice
you.
and clear.
I was going to bring up the shadow stuff because I was reading about triggers the other day. I don't remember apropos of what. And you know, obviously, things that are happening in your life that are dramatic or stressful or whatever are going to make you trigger more easily. But the thing that I found most interesting about being triggered was the shadow stuff that you're mentioning.
I need to know more knowledge on that shit, Liz, but keep going, right? I'm just learning the shadow shit, but apparently.
What I read about it is instead of someone saying, hey, you know what, you really, all the things that you don't like in yourself, you see in other people and it bugs you, which I never really bought. But the way it was put to me this time was, if you haven't done all your shadow work and you're not intimately familiar with your weaknesses and your foibles and what triggers you and why, you're not going to understand why exactly you get pissed off at certain things time and time again.
Yeah.
Because I started thinking, why are these certain things really bugging me and triggering me, getting me to yell? And so I kind of, and anyone can do this, you kind of go back and you're like, what is it in particular that pisses you off about, you know, and think about the common denominator of what triggers you.
Yeah, that's what I was asking in the beginning of this broadcast. Like, what triggers you, and what are you passionate about? Also, I was asking on the positive end too. Yeah, those are all things that you don't get caught off guard.
Lens, I'm gonna name a trigger in the spirit of what you just said. See if we can figure out.
Ahimsa, good to see you.
Hey,
oh God, no, just kidding.
What?
Oh God.
What?
Good to see you too.
One of my triggers is a motherfucker who take too long to get to the point. What does that tell me about me, Lens, or anybody?
Right, impatient, like under the Mars. Under the Mars, and like I was talking about Jock Talcott's Mars, where his Mars, because wherever your Mars is, some people think that's where that's a trigger point. It can tell you where you might get triggered. And one of the things with people with Mars and Aries is they're very impatient. You know,
what is that? What am I to discern from that? That
being impatient.
I mean, is that with because or a person not answering my question? Why does that piss me off so much? What the fuck is that? What am I to learn from that? You know, I'll be like, that's not what I asked. Why do I do that? What am I supposed to learn here?
I could answer that, but it's only a guess. And I could say that it's more important for you than other things, top priority for you to be understood. And a top priority for you to be succinct and not to be misrepresented.
Very good. Well said. Well, thank you. Yeah, that was it. That's the answer I was looking for. Yeah. That was it.
I mean, maybe also too, you don't want your time you think people are disrespecting you because your time is precious to you.
Yeah, but Lindsay would have to be 100% right with what she's said. I do. You know, now I wonder if it's cope because I know Linz is right, but I do. But that's a cope probably. God damn it!
I think what I see with you, Joe, with you is like maybe the impatience and wanting people to get to the point is because. And then we look at your superpower is what you're good at is because when people freeze up, I've noticed on this live stream, you're very good at helping them out and kind of coaxing out what they were trying to say. So
I rephrase a bunch of shit, and try to help motherfuckers out on that line. Yeah.
Part of it could be perfectionist and need for control. I mean, nobody would know. Nobody would know better than you.
Yeah, the control shit.
Maybe Oracle would know. What do you think, Ahimsa?
Yeah, what do you say?
Yeah, for Joe.
Oh, he doesn't seem control oriented at all. He like if you're doing Jung's typology, I think he's like ENTP. So I think he likes ideas and debate to come from that and people not to take so personal.
Yes, that would be 100% accurate. I'm trying to communicate and it's a quicker way to get there. You take it a long way.
Yes,
not everybody is logical.
Yes, me on the other hand is very control oriented. I'm ENTJ.
Oh yeah, that's much more control.
No. You niggas can't just use a shorthand. I didn't read the book. You got to say what.
Well, you're direct, Joe. You're direct.
I can't. How am I supposed to? How am I supposed to make you read the book? What?
You're not. You're supposed to say, you're ATTJ, many having these characteristics. Say the whole fucking sentence for
I don't
niggas
even know
who
what
don't
that
talk
means.
that language.
Okay, that means
Context, Joe. Context. I said it was not control oriented. I was control oriented. That was the context. You don't have to pay attention.
Okay, my bad.
Okay,
I'll explain
control.
it. I'll explain it to Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, ENTP, which is also my type. It's a movement oriented. We like to be moving in order to create new ideas and constantly be generating new thoughts, lines of thinking.
You're right.
So
I
people who
literally
are
rock
control
I
are
rock
different.
like a fucking autistic kid, and I take a different street every chance I get. I think
I mean, but being like that, couldn't the shadow side of that be somewhat reckless?
That would be true, but I wouldn't hold the same, like, I don't hold the same values as it looks like most people do. It's not, shit ain't so serious to me. It's not life and death to me, man. I don't know. So it looks like I'm reckless. You shouldn't go over there. You know what's gonna happen. It's not. I'll survive, nigga. It's not a big deal. Relax.
There's an order to your chaos, even.
This even becomes fun.
Control chaos, huh?
Yeah, but because if somebody else has chaos and brings it to him, I bet you it drives him crazy. But with his own perceived chaotic endeavors, whatever he's doing, and other people are worried, he knows he has it under control. He knows what he's doing. He's done this before, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. That's very logical. You'd have to done before so that you get accustomed to shit and blah blah blah. I had a buddy. He was a new auditor. He was on fire too. And I fuck with a lot of trolls and just, you know, horrible people that dox you, horrible ass niggas. And he was like, when he was going around learning the internet, he was like, and then I met him. I picked him up at the airport in Chicago and took him around to show him place. And he was telling me, he's like, man, I be seeing you going in them rooms. I was like, Joe, don't go in there. What are you doing? That should show that, you know, and I'll be like, oh, stop it. It's not the end of the fucking world. And we had a bad ending. He, you know, we didn't end up good and all of that shit. But that's an example of what we're talking about. I've been through that shit. It's not a big deal. He has such an imagined thing in his head. It's the exact opposite.
Socratic question for all of you. Do you think when something bugs you about that someone else does, I mean, it doesn't make you want to tell off the world and do a backflip and throw a major fit and yell at him or whatever, but something acutely bugs you so that you're cognizant of it. Do you ever stop and think, what is it about this act that is actually bothering me? And do you come up with any other reasons that aren't actually based on you?
My first thought is I don't think I do. My first thought is always, it must be in you, Joe. It wouldn't be getting under your skin.
I think that way too. I'm like, they're reflecting something I haven't integrated about myself. And they're just pissing me off because I don't want to look at that mirror.
You say, what if they aren't?
Yeah, what if you aren't?
What if they are reflecting something?
Let's take a simple example. Somebody is talking to you, and her voice is really high like this, and she just doesn't sound too intelligent, and she is asking you, well, what does species mean? And you're
it's already pissing me off.
Is that really about you?
That's very effective. You're right. It's pissing me off. Is it about me? You're right. I assume that person is not smart. Is that about me? Very good. I don't know.
Yeah, why would that be about you?
Right.
Other than indirectly to say maybe you have a thing where you don't like.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how I look at it sometimes. Other times I just get pissed off.
They make me mad, I think, because I see them as a barrier to what I'm trying to accomplish. I want a shorthand. I want people to not be sensitive so we can talk succinctly and quickly and reach a point. And that person, I feel like they're almost useless to me. I got so many friends, mostly they're chicks at night, where their critical thinking skills go out the fucking window, and I feel like this is just me loving you and being a friend right now, but you are worthless. I have that thought.
But you could see how that could be a detriment too, right? Like not everybody who would make a great friend or who is wise is book smart.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. I don't think that you know, a lot of my friends are, you know, flat earth believers or Republicans and Democrats. So I think that's low IQ shit. It don't change the fact that, you know, I love them, great friends. When they Trumpers, I be thinking you got to be the dumbest fuck in the world. but it don't change how much I love them.
Yeah, I have a lot of dichotomies, dualities in my life that even with my partner, like we were opposite in a lot of ways, even politically. So I get like challenged a lot with that type of stuff, and then and so much so that like I've been like, fuck all the duality anyway, it's all the same. But then again, I think about, I'm trying to learn to think about, even though something may not be important to me.
I didn't catch none of that, by the way. I'm not with you so far. If someone else can translate,
I'm not done yet.
Okay. I thought you was like,
wait a second. Respectively.
Wait, do you want to rewind? I can summarize it this far. Or you want to just go on?
I would love to. I thought that was one of those parts where you were pausing, saying, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was just trying to say, not with you so far.
Now being conscious of like, shit, I need to hurry up and get to the point, which I've known I've had to. Something I've been trying to work on too is getting to the point. But the point is like people in my life to show me like, hey, yeah, okay, your way of thinking is not the only way. There's a reason.
Yes.
You know? It's okay if somebody thinks a certain way, because if it bothers you so much, you can just keep it moving. Or or if you like really love the person, care about them, you're gonna try to, see where you can get better or maybe help them out. So
that's what I'm doing now. I think Cynthia has an advantage on me and all women in general with their being in tune. And that's what I'm actively trying to work on. Because that normally I've been so mean. People who do the astrology thing, I usually am so mean. Show me where it connects and all. I'm trying to understand now.
Put your stuff in the back chat and I'll look it up for next time.
Yeah, but he needs to, like, Joe wants to be explained like the basics. I'm speaking from, but like in a sense where he can like, he feels like when we talk about it, it's totally going over his head. And I was just trying to say is like, maybe instead of focusing on the planet, or the sign, focus on like what the archetype we're revealing, how it relates to your life.
I thought that was helpful, because I'm overwhelmed when y'all be like, oh yeah, so and so is in his first phase and so I can't keep up. I can't learn the language.
Just listen to the concrete part of what he's saying and not the obtuse part.
I know what Joku was saying. He needs a cheat sheet. So yeah. So
my cheat sheet is just learning the planet. If you really want to know, look at the archetypes of what each planet represents. Look at the archetype of what each sign represents and elements, and that's it.
I don't know Jupiter, Saturn. All I know is Mars is war. I don't know the other one.
Okay, that's a good
Venus
start.
Is love,
that's a good start. That's a good start. Yeah.
I'm getting a cheat sheet for you, and I'll put it in the private and public chat.
Okay, I can put it in the public. I can snatch it out from my other phone.
How do we stay in contact with you, Joe? Cool, because you don't got no Discord or Instagram or shit like that, right?
You're right. You got Flo's number, Sarah? Any of their number?
I can get his Flo's Discord.
I can probably. I have Flo on the DM.
And Sarah's, yeah.
Discord, yeah.
Both of them.
Because I don't have a phone number.
Oh, and I don't.
Because I'm overseas.
I don't use any Discords and shit. I don't.
You have an email, but you don't check.
I do have an email, but I get thousands of them. So
God.
shit get buried.
I do too.
Okay.
Right.
Me too. Big and spam.
And you know what? It was my Chicago homie. My Chicago homie. He was like, "Take a look at your email, fam," and like, why you let it pile up like that, man? That's a reflection of your life. Like, come on, man, take care of this. Like,
don't you find like some kind of chaos creative? Like you're an ENFP, I think, but there's certain amount of chaos that creates stuff. I don't know.
Of course, but on default, my life is in a way on default in itself. There's so much chaos that the things I can organize easily, like an email or something, I need to. That's a good lesson for me to take care of that shit.
Hamza, why you call chaos creative? I'm curious. Give me examples of how.
Oh, exactly like you and I talking right now. When we have differences of opinions with other people or with each other, that dialogue creates a whole new reality.
You're right.
You know,
right.
once we work through it.
It grows you. If you're adults and you don't want to, you don't offend if you don't get offended. You know, you grow. You know, That's what's good about being a man.
Yeah.
Fucking Hank could curse me to my soul. And you know, the conversation will continue as soon as he fucking come back to normal. Some people like Tommy, these are men that I'm thinking about, Tommy, and some motherfuckers, you do that shit. And fucking 3 months from now, them niggas will jump you on the panel. I'm thinking, remember that shit you said, Joe Cole?
Jump you on the panel, huh?
Really,
What's up? What's up, guys? Hope you weren't waiting there back. Stay so long. How you doing, Dennison? Dizzy Dennison, and Clue. DJ
Clue. Hi. Panel walk with Dennison. Oh my! How many panels have you been on today, Dennison?
What happened?
Why you gotta call him out, man?
Because funny. I mean, this is like the third time we bumped into each other today. I think.
I want to do a little experiment really quick.
Let's do it for science.
Let's do it just because. Okay, especially you, NPC, but anyone can do this. I want you to remember back to your 4th grade class. And
oh gosh,
I want you just think about this. Don't answer me yet. Think about your teacher or going to school or anything that you can remember about 4th grade. Did any of you look up during this process?
Literally, you mean?
I mean, literally look up.
I don't think so.
No, I did not. Maybe look down more.
Okay. Because I was trying to test the theory that visual learners often look up when they're trying to think of something, and then tie it into the fact that NPC takes the obtuse and the artistic, and he uses that
feeling,
and creative means to understand the present, and like these triggers that we're talking about in psychology. He ties them together with different planets, and he said just think of the planets and what they represent and the archetypes. So I thought maybe he was a visual learner, but none of you looked up. Like when somebody gives me a math problem, 365 plus 254, I have to look up literally in my head. And that's one way that I know I'm a visual learner, but usually people
719, by the way.
Yeah. Did you look up?
Yeah, did you look up?
Did you look up?
Did you
I
look
looked
up?
up when you said math problem. I looked up.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I see a lot of some of the students, they do that. They have their head straight up like a triangle.
Yeah.
While other kids are like laying on the desk with their head.
But Lance, probably because this isn't visual. When I'm trying to figure out shit, like most of the time, philosophizing or something, trying to figure out or whatever, I'm not looking up, but I'm concentrating, and I'm probably looking like down or something. I'm thinking like that.
Yeah, I look down.
But maybe because it's not visual.
Well, yeah. I mean, some people are audio learners. Some people are visual. Some people are tactile. You have to touch to learn or practice. Like if someone shows you how to use a hammer for the first time, you actually have to touch the hammer and hammer a nail in to learn the best.
Yeah. You said what kind
of learner are you, Linzilla?
Linzilla is visual.
I think she said
and
visual.
audio. Well, I do a little bit of audio and a lot of visual.
Yeah, you need to get some Sci-Hub. Yeah, these are out-of-date stuff you're referencing. Everyone learns the same way. Everyone learns every way. So you need to get on Sci-Hub, get the up-to-date research.
Okay. Well, you're not.
There's 9 different methods. I remember that when I was homeschooling. There's 9 different types of learners. It's either 7 or 9. There's like kinesthetic. There's audio. There's like she's saying, tactile, visual, all of that. Yeah.
What's kinesthetic? Kinesthetic. What does that mean?
That's someone who has to be moving their body in order to learn. Like there's some kids that benefit by like a mini trampoline, you know, and they just retain things better when you let them jump around or move around in class, which is why I'm not a big fan of the formal class setting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. When you have ADD, I don't, but kids that have ADD
how boys learn.
A lot of boys learn like that.
I'm literally a corporate trainer. I actually have
some girl students like that though too.
Yeah, I have expertise in training people. The cheat sheet helps everyone. You could call yourself any kind of learner. The cheat sheet helps everyone.
I'm screenshotting your cheat sheet that you sent to me right now.
Look what Brown's boy said. In 4th grade, my teacher was taller than me. I normally look up. My teacher was an alcoholic, Miss McCallion. Ooh, a doctor.
I think
funny
in
how a
fourth
little-
grade, I had missed class and didn't learn division, and I had never learned it. I thought I can get away without it because I was young and stupid. And then I remember the teacher was like, tomorrow is the day that your parents come. I'm going to tell her, that you don't know how to do that. So when I got to the crib, I taught myself division. And she tried to bust me out. She was like, he's got a problem here. Everything else is straight A's and he's incredible. But when it comes to this division, he can't hit it. I'll show you an example. She pulled me up in front of the class with my mom and put a problem up there. I immediately solved it. She put another one. Why didn't you do that yesterday? I didn't know it yesterday. I didn't tell her as a kid, but I didn't know how.
Yeah.
I had a great fourth grade teacher. Yeah. She was, I made her a cake for her birthday. And then she's the one who taught me to be grateful because she wrote me the nicest, like, thank you letter I still have somewhere. And I was like, wow, and so the attitude of gratitude, she just kind of instilled that. It was like,
I want to hear
amazing.
everybody teach you a moment. I know everybody. What stuck with y'all? What moment did a teacher teach y'all something? I'm sure everybody would have to have one, right?
Yeah, mine was college, like writing. What's it called? English 100. It was the first time I really understood the term critical thinking. When this teacher from New York, this Jewish lady, she was like, in our literature exams and essays, she would talk about critical thinking. I'm like, oh wow, I like this. This concept.
That was a great lesson, right? That's a great.
Absolutely.
My calculus teacher in the 12th grade, Miss Malone.
What was the lesson?
Well, she would wear this T-shirt that said "Math is reason" or something like that. Math is the language of reason. And she said, you can still get the right answer and still get points off. I'm looking at your work. I'm looking at how you got that answer.
The philosophy behind it.
She looking at the work I did. So I'm like, I like you.
You're the one who solved the math problem, right? Just out of his head, just like that. The addition problem just gave. Yeah.
Yeah, math is my shit. That's my drug. Math is my drug. I didn't have to take calculus 1, but I took it as an elective because I don't want to go through a whole school year in high school and not take a math class. I'm like, why am I here? So I took it as an elective and I aced it.
Right on.
Awesome.
Damn. Oracle, you said you like math a lot too? What about it?
Yeah. It's unlike language, it's just the same all across the globe, and it's just the math adds up. 1 + 1 is always 2, and it's logical. It makes sense. It's not like you have to read between the lines. I mean, you can do creative accounting if you're unethical, but for the most part, you can you can audit and figure things out.
Lindsay, do you like math? You seem like the opposite type of person, and I think I may be too. What do you think? Where you fall on math, Lindsay?
Absolutely hate it. Can't relate to it.
Too much.
I think it's boring. There's no ounce of creativity in it.
I mean, I like it with you ever heard of the 5% nations?
I have, yeah.
They're
the gods and
kind of like
goddesses.
an offshoot. Exactly, the offshoot of the Nation of Islam. But they have this thing called supreme mathematics and alphabet, where they assign different values to numbers. Like 1, they represents knowledge; 2, wisdom; 3, understanding. And they talk about what's going on in the with their day in those terms, and they have same thing with the alphabet. They represent certain things and stuff like that. So when we did math like that, I liked it, but the conventional way of doing math, even though I know it's high powered and cool, but it's like it didn't really resonate with me.
That's because you're not a math person. You're creative, so you use mnemonics. That's called mnemonics. In college, whenever I had to memorize really long 3 pages of information or something, I would use mnemonics and just create sentences because that was more creative than linear. And I would come up with these paragraphs full of sentences that I would memorize, and they basically started with these letters. So I used mnemonics, and I would get them 100%. But did I learn? Not particularly. I mean, how long are you going to hold that to your memory? But you got to
pass the test, but you didn't retain it,
right? To meet your learning style.
What'd you major in, Linzilla?
I had a few things. I had English, psychology, educational psychology, and biology.
So you were a quadruple major?
No, I had minors and a double major.
Damn, that's a lot of shit. Okay.
I don't know who I was trying to impress, but I was so stupid in math that I had to do times tables like this. My dog Fido, he knows tricks. 7 times 8 is 56.
That's a lot. Oh my God.
I'm so stupid in math, it's not even funny.
Yeah,
we can't
it
talk
could have been
if you're not good at math.
It could have been solved by writing down
People
a
who are
simple
not good at
table.
math are beneath me.
Yes, it could have been solved by writing down a simple table.
Yeah, I said it. I'm a math supremacist.
Well, why are you at the bottom though, Clue? Of the panel.
My family's
You
all
put me there.
mathletes.
Because you put me there.
Black people always got to be at the bottom.
I'm playing with you, Lindsay. I'm playing with you.
You and I always kid each other to death.
Music is a creative form of math, though.
It is.
Music is
I
math
agree.
to a certain extent.
Just like music.
And that's creative.
Music has another power outside of math.
Yeah, got it.
Music can literally transport you to a place in time. Right? More
Absolutely.
like a smell can transport you to, oh wow, that's the smell from my high school or the gymnasium. Music will fucking take you back to the early 90s when you was dancing at a house party somewhere. What the fuck just happened? Music.
Joe, this is
crazy.
This is my favorite part of streaming, guys. This is why I constantly put these songs in the beginning and the end, because all these songs, they mean something. Like it's a time machine. Yeah.
I like the way art can be linear or chaotic completely. And there's even a little bit of chaos in the linear, because sometimes you make mistakes and you keep them and you like them. Sometimes there'll be a big drip of paint that landed on your painting and it actually looks cool and you leave it.
Yeah. I took an oil painting class in college, and it was like taught by this master painter named Noah Buchanan. And when he does a portrait, it looks like crap in the beginning. You're like, what the hell's going on? But as it going, you're like, holy crap. This is like a damn Caravaggio or Da Vinci or something like that. Like, it looks so real. But it starts off like garbage looking.
And not even he probably knows how it's going to turn out in the first place. He has a rough idea.
Yeah. It's amazing, man.
Lenzilla, I got a final exam question for you regarding music. Name the rapper that rapped a 6/8 beat and did it very well. I think he's the only one that was able to do it.
I'm just going to say Eminem, because everyone said he has a certain talent.
No.
Help me out. I'm not a good
It was
rapper.
actually Jay-Z. It's
Yeah,
a
I never
song
went
called The First Song. It was on the Black Album. It was rapped in a 6/8 time signature.
What's that song? Was it?
Yeah, can you do it?
The First Song.
That was the title?
That's the title of it. The First Song.
First song.
That's,
okay.
Look on the
Who's on
album. It's called
first?
The First Song. And he's rapping in a 6/8 time signature, which no other rapper before him was.
What does that mean?
It is 6 beats. It's 6 beats to a measure, and each beat gets the 8th note. So it's like a swing beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. A swing. Boom. Boom. That's a 6/8 beat, and he was able to rap to that. 'Cause nobody's ever been able to do that. Yeah.
It's a rhythmic poem.
That's math, yeah.
A lot of gospel
Jay-Z's
songs are written in 6/8.
Absolutely.
Gospel music is woo. Have you heard of, dude? Have you heard of the producer named Alchemist? He's a white dude. He produced a gospel album a few years back that's really good. It's really good. It's like, because gospel music as it is, it is soul music. You know what I mean? It hits you from the bottom of your feet and it goes through you. But he incorporated some hip hop elements to it, and it's a really good album. His album. I think that's why people go to church.
You're right,
The main reason why people do go to church is for the music. the Baptist, some of these Baptist African American churches.
It's kind of like being at the club or something.
Yeah, because you get an emotional rush.
Yeah,
right. That could be addictive.
Dancing and moving around would give you an emotional rush. And Clue, you're right. I looked up that Jay-Z song. It is chaotic as fuck that he's rapping to. He's rapping to.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. If NPC don't mind facing copyright strikes, you can play a couple seconds of it.
I'll just erase the chat. That's what happens if I play something that I just have to re-edit it, and then it lets go of the chat, but the video's still up. Where is it?
Oh well, I would like you to look up something too.
Sorry, chat.
I would love to get fucking the girls.
Hey guys, I'm signing off tonight. My internet's acting squirrely. Good catching up though.
Right. Same.
Bye.
Okay,
Take
maybe
care,
I'll just
Oracle.
Good to hear from you, Linzilla.
Bye.
Hey, Joe needs that.
I'm not
reading.
Lynn's still here.
That's not who's. Oh, that's Azim. Oh, I was on another window.
Bye.
I was on another window.
You
My bad.
too. Bye.
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 Unfortunately, I'm still here.
No, fortunately,
anyway,
you're still here.
Lance.
Fortunately,
That's what I meant.
When they're done, I want you to say that's what I meant. When they're done, I want NPC to pull something up, and I want to get your opinion. You and Hank, I don't know why I'm interested in, but wait till we see the Jason.
Hank left a little while ago.
Oh shit! Well, it's just me and you, Lance.
Yeah.
Is
Go ahead,
digital
Clue.
here?
That's saying I tried to do it like 8 raps in my head, and none of them would go to that. It seems difficult.
It's because it's a mixture of time signatures. It's like 2/2 and 4/4, and you could argue that would give it an overall 6/8 feel.
it is 6/8. It's not a mixture. It's straight 6/8 from beginning to end.
Up Google VO3?
I mean, I said what I say. You said what you said, right?
How do we know for sure?
I'm the musician, though.
Pardon me.
Hold on, I can put it in the chat. Actually,
He's the musician, y'all.
You must be listening to the syncopated beat behind it, though. And I think that's confusing you a little bit. You listen to the syncopated beat.
Peace to you too, TML.
You still there, NPC? I don't think he is.
Yeah, he said, "Fuck it, y'all niggas argue about music."
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. So shout out to the machine lines in the building. Joe, you said VO3. You have it in the back?
I put it in the chat, on the regular chat. If you could snatch that there.
Okay.
It's a new virtual reality program where anybody can do this now. And I'm wondering if I'm not mistaken, I only saw it once, and that wasn't the video that I saw, but they were saying how off of 1 to 3 small prompts, they were creating these images, and it ain't like, oh my God, like, fuck, we're doomed. I can't tell the difference from reality. I'm wondering, we're doomed. You know, there's like there's times someone to show you a spaceship video or a video of Trump robbing a liquor store. You'll never know.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Here we go.
Look how.
Holy crap.
I haven't seen this myself, by the way.
They help a lot. The new G-Max shoes. You go so fast in these. This bag is available for my.
The thing too, this is AI. Like
this is insane.
Big thing is like,
this is AI.
Yeah,
this is insane.
It is AI. Yeah. The thing is, like before, a tell was like the hands. AI couldn't catch up with the hands, but now
AI
these
always
hands look
fucks
flawless.
the hands up.
This looks flawless. The hands. Look at this shit.
My subscribers, link below. 12 colors.
It's crazy.
This is fucking me up. I hate it.
For every occasion.
That's AI.
Yeah.
Proof tense.
Damn.
We
in
If
trouble.
you're single and rich, join.
What'd you say?
You guys even know what that means?
No,
What, AI?
We're done. We're done. I don't know what it means. That's what I'm asking. It's something fucked up, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, somebody I heard in the Panaverse has an AI girlfriend.
Join this new dating app.
What's his name?
Cage.
Come
Is that
on,
rap dude?
dox him now.
If you're new to climbing, join my class every Saturday morning.
Oh my
New
God.
running club every
Look at
Sunday
this.
morning with me,
Bald.
Check out this new Gmax gaming mouse.
We have a special deal for haircuts today.
This is crazy. The camera's even moving.
Yeah.
Please donate to libraries. Keep them open.
The face is kind of back there, but yeah, this is a.
Don't forget to subscribe to Gerard.
You got the dogs.
Please consider rescuing a dog today.
Have you ever considered cryptocurrency?
What does this mean?
A brand new cinema experience is coming.
Come along to dance school every Thursday.
Oh wow, they even got the reflections.
Right on her face.
I wish you hadn't
That is insane.
told us that this was AI, because
We'd have
I wanted
never
to
known,
watch it and be able to say, hey, something looks funny about
Kind
that.
of weird, huh?
Yeah.
What happens when we get to the point where nobody can tell the difference?
It looks like
yeah,
we're
it's already there already almost. Dennison, what were you gonna say? What does this mean? Can you expand on that, please?
Yeah, what does that mean? It's AI.
It's artificial
intelligence.
Definitely not.
Okay, yeah, I know. I've heard people say this. It's like it's technically not AI, but that's a word we use. What is it? Colloquially,
A marketing
right?
term.
Yeah.
It's a
What is it?
marketing term. It's not even colloquial.
It's like the
Okay,
difference between
what's-
processed food, right, and non-processed food. Wouldn't you say that could be a fair analogy? Because these are special lighting, special movements, things are manipulated to be in a certain way versus left alone and natural.
Why is it
Yeah,
not
I see
AI
that.
yet? I don't understand yet. I don't understand. Why is it not AI?
There's no intelligence involved. and you don't even the only intelligence involved is the human, first of all. And then you don't even know the
I see
technology
where
and
you're
how it's
going.
working.
You're calling
Like, for
AI
example, if I
as
told
in
you
a
every
thinking
single one of
computer.
those examples was an actual human being and an actor that was scanned into a model, and that the only thing the AI was doing was changing their lips based upon the prompts you gave it, would you be as
Yeah,
impressed?
the language model, large language model, LLM. That's what AI means.
That's why
Yeah,
I saw
LLM is not intelligent.
It's a little bit pedantic, but
okay.
It's not at all pedantic whatsoever.
Why you got to
It's
shit on our
absolutely-
birthday cakes, Dennison? Damn it.
It's absolutely.
I'm sorry, I was just
pedantic.
telling the truth again. My bad.
Here, computer generated is all I meant by that. It was computer generated.
Is that more accurate? What's the most accurate term? Joe,
Most
that
of
sounds
it
pretty
isn't,
good,
It is not computer generated.
What could we call it, Dennison? Though, so we're writing exact.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know better than to apologize. Come on.
Uh-oh, Linzilla, let's go.
Who's Paul? I ain't apologize. Shit.
What should I call
Dennison,
it?
Dennison. Wait, hold on. What's the more accurate we can call it?
In the case of the language model, call it a language model.
So
There's
when
no
I
reason to
went
call it
Oh,
something it's
language
not.
Wait. So when I went to show them
language
that
model.
video there, I'd have been more precise by saying, "Oh wow,
Check
Google
out this
has
language
new
model.
language model. I want y'all to see." You think that would be more accurate?
Well, the video isn't a language model.
Okay.
No.
What should I have used for the video I showed? What words?
I don't know what words you should have used. I'm just saying
I
it's
should
not
have used
AI.
AI because motherfuckers understand AI to mean computer generated, and it takes an asshole to be like, well, actually, it was a man who made the computer to generate it, and you can't really call it intelligence because nothing smart about it. You understood. Everybody understood what I'm talking about.
He's just saying it's a misnomer, right?
Except that's not the
being a
way that I.
contrarian.
These
Except
guys are
I'm-
both right in a sense.
Except I'm not.
Dennison is being a contrarian. He's just
Except
being a
I'm not.
contrarian.
It couldn't even spell the words it was saying. It's the most retarded, unintelligent thing I've seen come out of the industry, the technology industry, in the last 20 years. And I see no
He's
reason.
anti-AI. He's anti.
I see no reason why to call it AI at all. I'm not anti-AI because AI doesn't exist.
Are you anti-pedantic? Do you understand that I was not even trying to make a comment about how smart the computer
Yes,
was? and how
no, that's exactly what you were
intelligent it was?
doing.
I was
Are you
just trying to
anti-language
talk
model,
about
Dennison?
how real-
That was exactly
anti-language model.
Joe, you're getting
No,
upset
the
over
answer to
this.
that's no.
or maybe you're not getting upset, but it's just kind of like saying the word democracy itself is a misnomer, right?
Yes,
we know we don't exactly live in a democracy. You can call it a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
It's exactly what you were doing is claiming that the machine could generate those images on its own to the point where we wouldn't be convinced whether or not it happened. Which one was real or not.
What the point I was trying to make was how real
Professor
it was.
Denizen, okay.
But it isn't real at all. It looked fake as fuck.
Oh, you didn't think that looked real?
No, it couldn't even. Go back and watch it again.
Dude, Dennis is just old us right now. This is Dennis.
I just love breaking the emotions and the spirit of stupid people. When you break the mind, the body follows. That's why. When you own somebody's mind, their body follows.
Don't you
I'm
think
not,
Imperious
I'm not
is-
interested in breaking anybody's mind or their emotions. That's
You think outside
that's
the
just
box.
silly. I'm merely
That's
saying.
the whole point.
I'm merely saying that it's not artificial intelligence. That's all.
Yeah, but that
It
was
isn't
not-
quite. You don't even understand how it's
Are you gonna
working.
tell us
yet
Santa's
you-
not real either?
Yeah.
Go ahead and shit on all
you don't
of our
even-
parades. Don't shit on
you don't
half
even-
of our parades. Shit on
you
all
don't-
of our parades.
Are you just gonna keep repeating the same thing over and over again while I'm talking?
Yeah. Shit on
Okay,
all
cool.
of
Then
our
I'll just.
parades.
I got it. Then I'll just learn to talk over you. You don't even know how the technology works, yet you're so impressed by it. That seems like there's a gap there in my understanding.
It's interesting.
You're
Is that
doing what
okay
Lindsay
to do
just
that?
said.
Or
You're
you're like,
the
wow.
guy when someone
You know?
says, "I saw this Saab sit yesterday." The guy who stops the conversation to say Saab sit.
Right,
is a
that's
misnomer.
exactly the same.
You don't even know where it come from, what it means. That's what you're doing, right? As if you
Yeah.
don't understand
There's
the
an
point.
equivalent there for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the same exact thing as saying that that's not artificial intelligence,
Hey.
and you don't understand how the technology works.
I do think I do. NPC, can you do me a favor? Find another one, same title, just a different bit, and let's see how if it looks real or not. Which is all I was trying to comment on.
Okay.
I only
Don't you
saw
like your
one
ch-
commercial before this. It was a short. I thought it looked amazing, so I made a mental note to look it up again. So I'm seeing it new too.
It's just challenging thinking.
I love it.
I'm not trying to challenge anything. I'm merely stating a fact and ask a question.
Challenging our thinking, I suppose, because I didn't see it that way, and I appreciate it. I hope I'm not making you feel defensive.
I'm not. I don't feel like I'm the one being defensive at all right now.
Denison used to be cool. What happened? What happened?
See
bro?
what I mean? See what I mean? I made a comment about AI, and y'all are telling me about myself right now.
No,
We're supposed to. I
please
think.
move forward. Nobody's offended. We liked it.
That's kind of cool.
We're just having a discussion. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe I think because your mic's a little loud, maybe it sounds like you're yelling or something.
There you go.
Is this one too?
Are you yelling right now?
Is this real, or is it a language model?
Look at this.
The language model is what interprets the query.
Okay.
Nature would prefer some personal space.
That looks crazy right there. Okay.
Sophie's choice.
The microfilm is in your ticket.
They're watching the north
Persephone.
exit. Use the service tunnel.
None of this looks real to you, then?
I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean by real.
Now you've been.
What is real?
Dense.
Like this right here.
Yeah, and I would. That's probably taken from an actual photograph or video.
Was that a
Use
yes?
the service tunnel.
Was that a yes, then?
This is taken from an actual
I didn't
photograph
ask
or
you
video
where it came
made
from,
up with
so-
actors.
So yes, it does
Oh,
look
no.
like real actors in film.
Yes, this still frame right here looks like it might be from something real. Whatever that means.
Yeah,
A
what
movie,
about
maybe a commercial.
Yeah.
That's when you were saying that these things, these actors were scanned, most likely.
That was my
It's probably taken from already existing real things. And you're like, look how real it looks while it replays images of real things to you and tweaks them
They're watching
slightly.
the north exit. Use the service tunnel.
But we're doomed, and it's going to take over the world. And so I think that maybe my opinion contradicted that assertion in a way that offended some people.
I'd go to that theater.
No, I still think
lost
you're just
island
being an
isn't
ass
Smith.
and don't know what the fuck
We
you're
must
talking
prepare an
about.
expedition
I'm trying
immediately.
to look smart or something, in my opinion.
Right. I'm sure that's
You
what it
can
is.
understand
On the night
if
of the
I look
bubble
at
bath.
this and say, we know that this
Hey,
is
Joe.
just a computer moving
Joe, look at
around.
the skin.
I'm the one yelling. I'm the one calling names. I'm the one telling you that you're just trying to be an ass.
No, and you're not a victim.
It's reasonable to think. It's reasonable to think that I'm the one acting emotionally right now.
No, but you're still being an ass. I can be emotional too, but don't change the fact that if I say this looks real, everybody else know what I'm talking about.
There is
Yeah,
no
it doesn't look real to me. It looks like random chaos in manipulated video. I can't even follow the concept.
Well, it's a good
I
thing
definitely
was
don't.
talking to Lex
If the
and I
artificial
said that
intelligence is an intelligence, I definitely don't relate to it or think like it at all.
That was not my question. I didn't.
The
even
uncanny
comment on
valley
that, but
is
that's
quite
good to know.
apparent to me. I watch it and I immediately feel like this is creepy.
You guys know what uncanny valley is?
I do. Yeah.
You ever heard that? Yeah. It is kind of it's kind of confusing.
Sorry for disagreeing with Joe. Then my apologies.
You're still being wrong and insincere, nigga.
Yes, of course. Every time I disagree with you, it's wrong and insincere, right?
Yes, you understand exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, and you still
No, I don't.
around.
No, I don't. I disagree with you entirely.
You're not your usual happy
Don't
self.
find it impressive.
Stop that one clip.
Now I'm not. Now I'm unhappy now because I disagreed about AI.
Stop that one clip.
I mean, this doesn't sound like you. Are you the real Dennison X? Let me.
Now I'm not even the real Dennison X
call up
because I
Exiled and
disagreed
ask him.
about AI.
Is this the real Dennison X? Because I don't know if this is you.
Exiled would definitely be an authority on that, wouldn't he?
Because you had both X's.
Joe, I wanted to ask.
Don't ask the actual Dennison X what he thinks about the topic. Let's find Exile.
Dennison X to help me on my stream. Remember that?
I think that Joe, thanks.
I would still help you today, buddy.
Video. It's
But
pretty
you sound
cool.
you sound
But
so
also too
so somber.
Thank you to thanks for Dennison what you said though to give us some more right and exact. I mean, either way, I'm in awe of it, kind of, but I always want to be right and exact though as well too. So that's why I was like, what do we call this? What's more accurate? You know.
And the reason that one is so popular right now is because of very few prompts you're able to the computer's able to generate very specific shit, and you can say I want it to look like a film noir movie or so and so, and I need more dogs and cats in the background, and the computer do all that shit for you. For 1 to 3 prompts, the video I saw, like, hold this, how? You know, I mean, anytime Dick and Harry has ability to do this type of shit.
Hey, we can actually do this. What she said, I think you guys need to go back and replay what you guys are saying right now. Listen to yourself. Okay, I'll do it right now. Look in real time. Let's see.
I'm saying right now, listen to yourself. I'm not really that interested. Shit.
Let's see.
Yeah, neither am I.
I just wanted to say something to Joe, but I'm having a hard time talking.
Go ahead,
I'm
Lindsay.
signing off tonight. My internet.
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay, I wanted to see if you could see the difference. It has verisimilitude, meaning likeness to reality. But one of the ways in which you can tell the difference is the slight artificiality of it. Look at the skin of the people in it, for example. It's very smooth. It's very perfect. There's no pimples, not too many wrinkles, strategically placed everything, certain shadows, like a drawing rather than the person. You know what I mean? When you see a person,
I'm on a cell phone, so I probably just didn't get that type of detail.
These things stick out for me.
it's more three-dimensional when you are talking in front of each other and we're having coffee or something. When you look at these, your eye just tells you something is just a little off.
And there's a shift in perspective without a change in light and shadow.
Right.
So, Lindsay,
are
you saying that
Look at
the
their
AI
skin.
should just add errors, and then they would fool everybody? If they would
look
add
more
a
like
zit,
real
a zit
people.
a zit there, and whatever,
No, I'm not saying
discoloration
that.
here.
You little asshole.
I think imperfection is not so.
I mean, you're giving the AI some stuff that they need to know. I mean, add some imperfection and you fool the humans.
You know, some freckles wouldn't hurt, but
yeah, there you go.
Way too labor intensive. You know, so I understand why they don't do that. But look at the skin.
This is real. This is real compared to this stuff.
It's because if they did, the freckles would be all over the place, not just on the face of the person. Because these things are very rudimentary.
Does this one stand out as an obvious fake?
But we're working on updates, isn't it?
His face has no blemishes or anything. What, Joe, was that?
I was asking Dan and Lens, does this stand out as an obvious fake to you guys? Do you see
this one right here?
Yeah, play it and turn the volume up. Let's see.
Masks appear.
Because also
down.
too, the audio plays the thing in there, huh?
Yes, it's already creepily AI
Please pay
already.
attention to this safety briefing.
Insert the metal tip into the buckle.
Robotic.
That's horrible. Like the voice right here. This is so stupid right here. This part.
Yes. Without the
Insert
voice,
the metal
though,
tip
I'm
into the
sold.
buckle and tighten the strap.
The voice is
It's the
clearly bad.
unnatural.
No, this is
Very
unnatural. What?
Look how he looks though, without the sound. That looks real.
I think all day long.
Yeah, like he's wearing makeup.
If you pause it, the motion gives it away. People's faces don't look like that when light reflects off of it.
I'm zooming in.
Yeah, they haven't mastered the mouth movements either.
No, yeah, because that's the part that's not. That's the part that's actually generated.
The timing is unnatural and artificial too.
Yeah.
We are
tough
all
critics.
like this.
I
Like
think
everybody's
they're
Some tough
legends.
critics.
I think they're imagining shit. And I think if you'd have pulled up a real ad,
Oh my god!
If I wasn't married, I want an AI girlfriend. Oh shit! This is too clean though.
Insert the metal tip into the
NPC,
buckle.
what would you like
tighten the
for me
strap.
to do today?
Don't worry, it's not that hard.
Just want some tacos.
If oxygen masks
Pay no
appear,
attention to how one of my eyes
your nose and
blinked.
mouth.
One of them.
Pay no attention to how one of my eyes blinked, but not the other. I am totally human.
That's what happened
She
to
has
her.
eye
Look at
problems.
Look at her eyes. Look at she has conjunctivitis.
Look at her neck, then look at her face.
The
There's
vein.
details on her neck.
They
There are
say
absolutely no details on her face other than two.
Yeah,
wrinkles
Lindsay looks like
around her.
she's attached. Look at the torso. Look where the neck comes out of the. It's
She's
totally
composited.
different.
She's
Yeah, exactly.
composited,
That's
which is what this thing can do.
You'll
It
only need it
composites
once.
images and videos.
He's located.
But we just put a shirt on her right there to cover up that neckline.
Nose and mouth.
Damn,
They
that
say
was a
you'll
strange
only
looking
need it
exit.
once.
Please locate your nearest exit. Even though statistically, it won't help you if things go wrong.
Under your seat, you'll find a life jacket. Put it on and hope you won't have to use it.
I like
Not
that
it
was like a
matters,
sassy.
I like a
AI.
redhead though. I like a redhead.
Follow the floor light.
He said, "Follow
Put
the
it on
exit,
and
even
hope
though
you won't have to use
statistically
it.
you're fucked
Not that it
anyway."
matters at 30,000 feet.
Sexualizing the A-bots.
Follow the floor lighting in an emergency. If you see a red glow,
Take it
well,
off, baby.
Is that Mike Cerrone?
good luck.
No, come on, man.
All electric feet.
Follow the floor
Don't
lighting
piss
in
it
an
off.
emergency. If you see a red glow, well, good luck.
Please
You're
turn off
dead.
all electronic devices, or the spirits in the cabin might get restless.
What?
Hey,
turn off-
smash the
Did you?
one out the chat. And
In other words,
Yeah, I
it
heard
might
that.
beat your ass.
Wait, okay, I'll do that. Did you hear what she just said though?
Yeah.
That's what she
And
said.
And if you go back to the first video,
See a red glow?
they were saying
Well,
stupid shit like that with all this crazy. It looked like it was from inside of a
notice.
dream, but then the words at the bottom of the screen weren't even words. It was just random, fucked up symbols.
Please
It
turn
kinda
off
looked like
all
a nightmare.
electronic devices, or
Yeah.
the spirits in the cabin might get restless.
What?
Relax. You won't feel a thing.
I mean, she's
Suddenly
gonna
you
beat your
will.
ass.
seat pocket.
that
It
looks
has no
great
answers,
to me.
That-
That looks
questions.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's
except
like
for the
a
mouth.
W thumbnail.
That was a much better lighting model used on this one, and
Yeah.
now it's probably also because it's the focus is on
In
just the face.
Yeah, and they blurred the front hand. I'm sure that
Evacuation.
helped trick the eye.
Leave all belongings behind and
Then
abandon
not
your
only
sense
do
of
these
reality.
look fake, but they're made from actual models of people, right?
Thank
Thank
Hey, Jen,
to women.
my wife and I.
you for flying bad airlines.
Women all have
Uh-oh.
nice voices.
Flex, NPC. Flex.
Those two look the best so far.
Pretty good, yeah. Especially the brother. Jeez.
And they never give the women voices like that.
The women voices need an upgrade, I think.
Hey, smash the shit out the chat I put in there.
All right. Did you put it in the
regular chat?
Regular chat?
I can't. I'll be your stewardess.
And they also, this is new that they just made. They can take a 2D image, and the computer can turn into 3D, so it looks like this, and you can spin that camera around, and you can see his front, his back. Yeah,
I don't want to see more of the camel.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, your mind? What I'm about to show you is entirely AI generated.
I never thought I could feel.
Okay, that looks real.
Feel like this.
You're the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to me.
The teeth.
The acting.
Yeah, the
Tell me
mouth
that's
is
not incredible.
but
This is Google's
damn, give it
VO3.
another
Not only
week,
does it generate, I'm about to blow your mind. What I'm about to show you is entirely AI generated.
I never thought I could feel like this.
Okay. That looks,
So you guys gonna watch AI porn? Is that gonna be the same?
No. Because if I don't know who you are from years ago, I don't watch new porn stars.
I don't even like fake boobs or BBL. So what do you think we're gonna do with the AI?
I don't know you from 10 years ago. You can't do nothing for
natural.
You ain't seen these people on the internet who have relationships with their computers, and right now apparently they only run for so long, then they have to restart, and they're posting how heartbroken they are because they had to leave their mate, their soulmate, and this is just the voice shit, no pictures.
That just proves how narcissistic human beings are at heart.
We're gonna be doing the AI porn, Joe.
Somebody was playing
Wonderful
this.
thing that has ever happened to me.
She even got water on her chin and shit. This
Mogmaxx is gonna get a run for his money.
The teeth gave it away. The teeth are not real.
Tell me that's not incredible. This is Google's
only 'cause she was
Not only
moving
does it
her
generate
mouth.
really good video, but the audio is baked in. One prompt, audio and video.
So I went to a zoo,
Look at this guy. They put make him look like Prince William.
and there was only one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
I did a few street interviews, which are
Dog. It was a.
I don't get it.
This one.
It was a Shih Tzu. It was a bad zoo.
Yeah, the joke is bad.
The name of the dog is a Shih Tzu. Come on now.
What's up with
That's still not funny after you
So I
explain
went
it.
aesthetics? What do you think?
to a zoo, and there was only
He got the light on his big forehead.
one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
I'm impressed, man, because considering this just
did a
came
few
out, I don't know, weeks ago. What next year, you know, it'll be seamless.
So NPC, they had this convention where they introduced one of the latest AI so-called dolls, whatever you want to call it. Look just like this guy on the screen in front of you, only, you know, just like an everyday Joe, but they had a female too. And once they put the female out on the floor, what's the first question do you think they asked?
Something about the putty cat out of the mouth or I don't know.
Sex box.
Sex related, yeah.
Yeah, can you?
Definitely.
He said, any questions about the robot at all and how it works?
Can you
et cetera?"
fuck it?
Yep. Bingo.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Lindsay, what the hell?
That's very interesting, but can I fuck it? I did enjoy the quality of your presentation, and I find that to be a very interesting topic and presentation, but can I fuck it?
Media by storm.
That's the denizen I thought I was getting.
Welcome
back, sir. Welcome
These are
back.
pretty wacky though, and they are fun.
Oh, buddy, it was the same denizen that was saying to you earlier about how this is not artificial intelligence. You just took that personally and felt some type
Denizen
of
did not
way.
have any humor whatsoever.
Bullshit, he didn't. He was making the hell of fun out of you at the time, buddy.
I like
Review-
the denizen.
review
I like
the
the
tape.
denizen that makes fun of people. I like him.
Great invention.
I got my volume about half, Dan, and you're still booming. I got my. Is it just me or is Dan booming to you cats?
Right, you got a
He's
high powered mic.
He's got a god mic.
Can you turn it down just a hair?
Howard Stern private part mic. What's the Lindsay? What was that convention thing?
What was
Somebody
it?
asked them. What would the prompt be to search for that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I believe I was probably in Flo's room at that time, so he might know.
What the
But
fuck
it
were you doing
was
in Flo's room?
a long time ago.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, not in there.
I think I might have saw the same one Lynn saw. I saw one yesterday, day before. It was a life-size
sick with the
doll
robot.
and blah blah blah.
See what happens.
Yeah, and it was rather greasy and full of
Yeah,
slimy
realistic,
things when the inventor got it back.
realistic human avatar robot or something.
I'd be interested in to see how this technology works.
The one
See
I
a
saw
presentation
just stood there.
Like
It
glue
didn't
one of
even,
these.
didn't
That
even
it
move. The one I saw.
explains where
Yeah,
it gets
yeah,
its
it just
source
stood there
material
like
from.
It's a large language model, sir.
Pretty attractive, right?
Yeah.
That's
a trend.
uncanny
Nah,
valley
that's a
shit.
robot.
Now, see, here's the problem. Now they're making them look like trannies because that's the trend now,
Yeah.
and that's
Unfortunately, he's correct. Unfortunately, he's
do
correct.
young men like this shit?
Oh, shit. That is
Because I'm an old man and it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it'd be a waste of money for me. Bro.
Holy crap. Look at this. That doesn't look like a. Well, that one more than
You
the
got
other
a
one.
point. You got a point.
I couldn't trick myself into spending no
Nah.
time with that motherfucker.
Looks like a robot.
Isn't it awesome they created all these privileges for women? So in order to compete with women, a bunch of men just decided to call themselves women. And then those men outcompeted the real women. So now the real women are trying to compete with the men who call themselves women.
Yeah.
And now all we got is just a bunch of trannies. No matter how you're born, you all look like trannies.
Yeah. This is like a tranny robot right here.
Yeah, it's a good
Oh,
one.
no. I'm not paying $150K for this. Nope.
Yeah.
Did you pay $1.50?
You know how much real pussy you could get with $150,000?
Look at
Two pieces of real pussy.
Let's just say. Let's just say
I don't know.
that
What
robot.
I don't know where you're shopping.
I'm kidding.
Well, let's admit it. They're selling the sexy side of this because if she's just
Yeah.
invented to do the dishes and mop and vacuum the floor, why does she need a big butt, and big breasts, and
Right.
stuff?
Yeah,
Look at this
she
ass.
could be
Look at
For
that.
metal.
OnlyFans.
Right.
Check that out.
She could be
This
metal.
is why you buy this. Hold up. This is why you buy shit like this. So you can
Look at
give
the
them an
pants.
OnlyFans account and they can make you money.
Make money, yeah.
This is
Exactly.
an OnlyFans girl that makes you money as a
Give
man.
her an NPC channel and yeah.
But wait, listen. If she looks like she may look like this, but she walks like this. If she walks around like this, wait, watch. Like this, that doesn't do it for me, right? Look at this walk. Look at this walk.
Hey, maybe some dudes are into that. There might be some dudes into that. They're willing to pay for that. You never know. You never know.
Come on, bro.
Some dudes might pay for that. You never
Nope,
know.
70s
like this
porn
on the-
music in the
I don't know. That's kind of an
Exactly.
impressive dismount right there.
Yeah. What color for me? I mean, this one?
Oh, this is how she mops the floor.
Some dudes are going. Some dudes are going.
Now look at this.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of my ex's reverse cowgirl.
Watch this reach. Look at this reach around.
Oh shit! It's a midget. Nah, I'm cool. I'm not into that.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm putting another robot in the chat.
That bot made you $10,000 a week on OnlyFans. I bet you would buy it.
why stop there? Why not make your house the bunny ranch with the robot?
Yeah, get a couple.
Yeah, sure.
Get you
10,000 a week, sure.
So if
That's a lot more than the most successful women on OnlyFans, though.
That is true.
What's up,
The
Lindsay?
only successful women on OnlyFans are porn stars.
And OnlyFans has actual trainings.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Lindsay, what were you gonna say?
the male equivalent. I mean, are we appealing to sex drive here, or are we just saying he's cooking and cleaning and that kind of thing? And if he is appealing to the female sex drive, like she is appealing to male sex drive, does he have a tripod? Yeah, what is he looking like?
There's no market for that, Lindsay.
Are you anatomically correct?
Well, I thought he would have like 3 legs.
Listen to this. No means no. This is when the robot
Third
says,
leg.
no, I don't want to do
You'd
it.
have a third leg, Lindsay?
Hey, check out this robot. Yeah.
No more sex.
I don't know. The only thing is, I don't think women would find it appealing in any way. But men will do it.
Is that a black robot?
It gotta be black, man.
That's a woman.
Black robot.
That's a woman.
Yes, a female.
What did he say?
That robot's from the hood.
Yeah. He said, give me some head. And it said, no.
Fuck, I told you I ain't want to do this shit today. Fuck, I'm out of here.
No, dog.
They do the black box roll.
That stage?
Put your
Even in
fucking clothes away next time, you asshole. Next time you bring a woman.
Even in the bot world, the stereotypes are true.
You're a pig. Get out of here. Throwing my shoe at you.
Fuck you up.
That's more impressive than the language.
That is so dumb.
Well, not only could this be staged, but given the quality, it would be easier to be computer generated.
Right, because
it's in an extremely low resolution.
We saw a lot of stories after this about, robots are gonna attack Terminator shit after this video.
There's another one where a robot is like standing guard by a crowd, and he takes off the swing at someone in the crowd, and the guy that's controlling them have to physically grab them. If somebody's showing off their new robots, and
She looks like she could do some damage.
Yeah, look at Lindsay already calling her she.
You've been bought, Lindsay. You've been bought.
I remember
Have you guys
that
seen
one.
this one?
Yeah,
Is that a slave?
It uses real nerves the way we do. That's what they're trying to get them to do.
That's Peter Pan.
I mean, it's simplistic now, but it would work the way our nervous system works.
This is the one they got in. They got this one in Taiwan.
Ed,
I remember that. I used to love that movie. I love this shit. AI killing that shit nowadays.
It's bad.
It looks clunky now.
What the fuck is that? Is that like claymation?
Right.
Same principle.
The guys are on the screen.
Droid Series 209 is a self-sufficient law enforcement robot. 209 is currently programmed for urban pacification, but that is only the beginning.
Urban pacification.
After a
There you
successful
go. I like
Ghetto
that.
Wars.
Detroit, we can expect 209 to become the hot military product for the next decade. Dr. McNamara.
We'll need an arrest subject.
Mr. Kenny. Yes, sir. Would you come up and give us a hand, please? Yes,
Fuck
sir.
no.
Mr. Kenny is going to help us simulate a typical
Mr.
arrest
Imperious,
disarming
can you help
procedure.
us?
Right.
Mr. Kenny,
Hey,
use
Mr.
your gun in a
Imperious,
threatening manner.
take this gun.
Pointed at Ed 209. Yes, sir.
This movie's funny.
Shit.
Put down your weapon.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Comply.
Look at it. You better do what he says,
You better
Imperious.
put it down.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You now have 15.
Why do they make it growl? What the fuck was that?
You now have 15
MGM Lion.
to comply. You are in direct
Oh no! What are you gonna do?
Stand underneath it.
Yeah.
I'd stand next to the boss.
Don't stand by him. Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, he didn't make it. He didn't make it to RoboCop 2.
Nah.
This is RoboCop 2.
Why didn't he do that before? He had to pull it out, though. Oh my god.
Hope they got good insurance, bro.
I like how he's
Just say
just
thank you for your
disappointed.
cooperation.
It's so gory. It's funny.
You mean dick? Look at this. This is the
yeah,
shamefulness.
Yeah.
He didn't care that the guy died.
Exactly.
Right now, it's nothing to do with the death.
It's a failed experiment.
He's thinking about the corporate image.
Yeah, the board's gonna have my ass.
The board's gonna have my ass.
Go, Johnson. You won't want anything.
That was horrible.
Don't touch him.
Funny.
Listen to what the CEO says. It's funny.
Don't touch him.
Here you go.
He didn't hear it.
Dick, I'm very disappointed. I'm sure it's only a glitch. A temporary
Only a glitch.
You call this a glitch?
All right, that's enough of that shit.
Nothing about dude.
All right.
Brown's
All right. What did he say? What did Brown's voice say?
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Off his face, yeah.
He'll be fine.
Oh shit. Machine life. He died funny. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, guys. I'm gonna go have some tacos, whatnot. So thank you so much for coming by.
And what is that code language for?
I'm gonna eat some Mexican food.
And that's code language for?
I'm gonna eat some good eats. The food I was raised on.
Never
Food I
mind.
was raised on. Yeah. You want me to say I'm about to go get some dome or something? Like what the hell? No, I'm not gonna eat. I'm gonna eat. It's 2 p.m. right now.
Went out. I couldn't hear you. Sound like I didn't miss anything.
No, man. Yeah.
Enjoy your tacos.
Thank you, Lindsay. It was great to see you.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Okay. Always welcome.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Men suck. I hear tacos and think kitty cat. Men suck.
I mean, I would have said what do they call it? Hamburgers for women.
I'm a fatty.
Roast
I hear
beef?
tacos and I think tacos.
Who's
I'm a Blaxican, man. Raised on tacos.
Who's invisible?
Yeah.
You just see his name. I just see his name.
So we're gonna do. You gotta stay with me, guys, on the outro. Real quick.
Hang around.
So this has been Mogmaxxing and Magic. Mars Volume 2, Imperious True Mogmaxxing Inner Power Max Extreme. No, we didn't even do that shit. We did BEO 3 language models.
Yes, we did.
And stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you guys for coming by.
It was great.
And yeah, thanks Joe, Clue, and Dennison. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. And I'll be like Kendrick and get oh shit, I didn't even get it yet. God damn it. I gotta stall more. You guys talk amongst yourself real quick.
Dennison, you know you insincere fuck. I can't believe you pulled that shit earlier.
Yeah, you insecure fuck.
It's gonna be another 10 minutes now.
You gotta get out.
I'm curious, like why it's such a touchy subject.
Because you know that shit look
made it
extremely real, and you
Doesn't looks uncanny as fuck.
You did.
It looks fake, and I don't even think you understand what part of it is computer generated. Most of it is just real shit that it's pulling off of the internet and reusing.
But maybe we wanted to believe it was real. Have you ever thought about that, Mr. X?
Dream.
Yeah. So now you tell me how it's my disingenuousness that caused your cognitive
Actually, the word
dissonance.
is called disingenuity, by the way, because I'm smart. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. You were saying?
Yeah. So tell me how my disingenuousness is what caused you to have your cognitive bias.
Because we were having a good time talking about AI. Here you come over here shitting on everybody's cake and pie.
I didn't. There was no shit involved, though. Sir. It was just words and opinions.
How come you?
I'm
just
sorry
couldn't
that you
go
took it
along
as shit.
with the
Maybe
crowd?
you're a negative person.
Okay. How come you just couldn't do a little group thing just for now?
How come you couldn't just go along what I said and laugh and have a good time anyway? Why did it have to be a negative experience for you?
We were here first, Dennis and X.
But that's okay. You can expand your horizons and consider other people's thoughts and opinions without taking it personally and getting upset about it.
Jesus Christ, you're
just go get some money.